Hello and welcome into Anchorage Bucs baseball alongside my partner Will Hopkins. Vic Masley here at a beautiful day at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska, where the Chinooks are coming back to town to face the Anchorage Bucs for the fifth time in league play, the sixth time total, counting that non-league game against them. And well, the Bucs have taken care of business, 4-0 against these Chinooks once again in league play, 3-0 against them here. Just have played that one game out in Chugiak and also got the win there. So some home cooking for the Bucs here. Yesterday, a doubleheader sweep. The team looked so good. The bats are a little bit quiet. The Miners threw some good arms out there, but they got the job done. 2 runs in each game and just shutout ball from this Bucs pitching staff in 7 innings. So with all the injuries, with some hurt arms a little bit of sore arms, there's not many guys to go to in the bullpen. Will, how do the Bucs get it done after a large stretch of games and then going into a two-game off day or 2-day off day?
Yeah, for the Bucks right now, it's not about playing perfect baseball. It's about just getting through this difficult stretch. Like you said, 2 off days coming, and it would just be so nice to hit those off days with a win. But you can't overlook this Chinooks team, even though the Bucks are undefeated against them so far. There have been some close games between these two sides, and talking about the pitching struggles on the injury front.
Mm.
That's why Zane Kelly is starting this game for the Bucks. It'll be his first start of the season. He hasn't pitched in about a month
Hmm.
in league play. He'll be in the lineup as well. So because he's starting, he'll DH, and then once he comes off the mound, he will keep his spot in the lineup, which is huge for these Bucks. But for him and whoever follows after him, it's really just about doing your job, throwing strikes so that you can stay in this game as long as possible because the Bucks do not have that many arms that they can count on right now.
Well, for Zane, like you mentioned, it's his first start this season, and we do not expect him to go very long, not because he won't do well, but just because he's not a starter and they want to keep his bat in there and want him focused on his at-bats, especially later into the ball game. So we assume that he will go maybe 3 or 4 innings. I'd honestly
That'd
think
be
a little bit,
fantastic.
yeah, I think a little bit less. He's just mainly here to be an opener, and he'll give
Yes.
it off to the guys in the bullpen to go in longer relief. So Zane Kelly, the starter for the Bucks, on the other side, it's going to be Nolan Livesey for the Chinooks, and he's looked really good too. So we'll take a little bit of a break here. We'll talk about those two starting pitchers. We'll give you the starting lineups and more after the break. Welcome back to Bucks baseball here at Mulcahy Stadium. The sun finally working with us. It is bright blue skies, some clouds overhead, but for the most part, it is a sunny day here at Mulcahy Stadium. On the hill for the Chinooks, Nolan Livesey, and we were talking about it during the break. As rough first start or rough first outing for him, actually first start. All four of his appearances are starts. He is 2-1 so far, so three and actually five decisions for Frankie Golko, who's sporting a 1.95 ERA. But we're talking about Livesey today. 22 innings pitched, 27 hits, 13 earned runs. That's good enough for a 5.32 ERA. But as of his last couple of starts, he's looked a lot better, Will.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. His first start struggled, giving up 6 earned runs in just 3 innings pitched. That included 5 earned runs in the first inning. Then the middle two starts, 13 innings total with just 2 earned runs. Last time out, the home run ball kind of hurt him, giving up 5 earned runs across 6 innings, 7 hits. He is a guy who will give up base hits, so that's something that the Bucks can expect and the Bucks are good at. But it's just a matter of if we're going to get the good Livesey or the bad Livesey in terms of keeping runs from scoring.
Well, hopefully for the Bucks, they'll get the good Livesey, and hopefully also for the Bucks, they'll get a good Zane Kelly start. And what do we know about him, Will?
Yeah, making his first start of the season, just his third appearance. He and Austin Kirkwood, the only Bucks pitchers that have been used as rarely as they have, just 2 times. And for Kelly, the second fewest innings pitched was just an inning and 2/3. His first appearance came against these Chinooks. He went 1 inning, giving up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Big strikeout with the bases loaded in what was just a 1-0 Bucks win for their first win of the season. So a huge moment, and we know the pressure doesn't get to Zane Kelly. His second time out was against the Oilers, just 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit and getting a strikeout in just those 2/3 of an inning. So not a lot of experience. That second outing coming back on June 10th, and here we stand on July 9th. So almost a full month between those outings in league play. So we'll see how he fares. He's been close to pitching. He's been warming up in the
Mm-hmm.
bullpen, and it just hasn't quite happened. But we'll go ahead and give you the lineup that he'll be facing for the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks. Oliver Dagenhart will lead things off and play shortstop with Louis Zulaika, his middle infield partner, batting right behind him in the two-hole. Jordan Jaffe rounds out the top three over at first base. As for the middle of the order, Jaden Hill will play center field and bat cleanup with RJ Rickabaugh behind the plate, catching for Nolan Livesey and batting fifth. And in the sixth hole on the hot corner is David Broughton. Jacob Hayes will be the designated hitter for the Chinooks. He'll bat seventh with Orion Medeiros in right field batting eighth. In the other corner outfielder, Brady Groves in left field batting ninth. Once again, that's Dagenhart, Zulaika, and Jaffe. Hill, Rickabaugh, and Broughton. Hayes, Medeiros, and Groves for the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks with Nolan Livesey on the mound. As for the Bucks, Cole Carlone, who's been in the leadoff spot lately, will stay there and play first base with Will Burns in that typical shortstop position batting second. Andrew Lamb getting his first appearance in center field as far as I'm aware, and he will bat third for the Bucks. And Adam Enyart, who we saw pitch fantastically yesterday, will play left field and bat cleanup. Josh Hankins, who was a defensive stud yesterday, will play third base. He's in the five hole, and Zane Kelly has a chance to support himself as a batter. He'll bat sixth. He's doing the pitching, but after he's removed from the game as a pitcher, we expect to see him stay in as a designated hitter, which technically, I guess, would be his position in the lineup. Peyton Knowles will be at second base, where we've seen him lately. He's batting seventh with Dylan Maltby after a fantastic doubleheader on July 4th, getting the catching duties for Zane Kelly and batting eighth. And Brett Castillo will round things out, batting ninth, playing right field. So once again, it's Carlone, Burns, and Lamb, Enyart, Hankins, and Kelly. Knowles, Maltby, and Castillo with Zane Kelly on the mound, and want to just get a little bit more into that Zane Kelly situation. We've seen two-way players across the league this season, but it's not super often that we've seen them play both ways in the same game. We've seen it a couple of times, but a fantastic opportunity for Zane Kelly here. We saw from Zulaika, who started at second base for the Chinooks a few days ago against these Bucks, and he came in to pitch later in the game, but for Zane Kelly, he's doing it from the get-go. Just a reminder, these two teams playing just 2 days ago on Sunday. That was a 4-3 win for the Bucks, and as Vic said, that improved the Bucks' record to 4-0 in league play against the Chinooks, 5-0 in total. And these Chinooks are struggling. They do sit in last place of the ABL standings at 7-13, with the Bucks in first place at 16-6. But like I've said, there's been some close games between these two teams. The 1-0 win back on June 7th for the Bucs. The 12-7 game back on the 12th, even though that does sound like a lopsided score, it was 8-7 at one point in that one with the Chinooks storming back in the middle innings. The no hitter obviously sounds like a big dominant win, but the Bucs only put 3 runs on the board in that non-league game, so that was a 3-0 win. The big win was an 8-2 win back on the 20th for the Bucs, and then the latest meeting just past just this past Sunday, 2 days ago, 4-3 for the Bucs on top of the Chinooks. So the Bucs are being announced by the PA announcer, and we talked about the Bucs struggling in terms of health, and a couple of guys have joined the team. The first of which is Jake Rafferty, who we saw pitch against the Bucs in the high school All-Star game, and we talked about how general manager Sean Malpe was already looking for his services next year, but with the pitching problems, he said, "Forget next year. Let's go ahead and get this guy now." So he could be an arm that we see after Zane Kelly. Not sure, but nice to have him here. A couple more guys, an arm and a bat coming later in the coming days. So we'll see if we see them soon. But for now, it's the usual guys in the lineup. And with everyone announced, we'll go ahead and give you the national anthem.
So now asking you please do not raise the flag without field when joining us is on the record for playing the national anthem.
So we try to time it up so we finish lineups the same time they finish lineups. But a lot of times it doesn't happen, which is fine because he does a really good job of stretching and just finding shit to talk about.
Hope you enjoyed the national anthem. Sticking with it with no copyright issues as of the last couple of days, so hopefully we can keep that train rolling. Thank you to everyone who has joined us on this Tuesday afternoon. Just approaching 6 p.m. Alaska time, 10 p.m. Eastern on this Tuesday evening. Zane Kelly up on the mound, the lefty, to take his warm-up tosses. Kelly out of San Diego State University. And for Kelly, like we mentioned, this is just his third appearance and first in over a month on the mound. He's a pretty regular bat and fielder. We've seen him more and more in center field with the injuries to Max Ross and Riley Hunsaker. Kelly out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 6'1", 200. Wants to be a firefighter when he grows up, but for now enjoys his time, of course, playing baseball, fishing, and playing video games. Some of his favorite athletes, Bryce Harper and Ken Griffey Jr. So obviously pretty focused on the hitting, but tonight he'll have to focus at least for the first few innings on the pitching. The defense around him will be Dylan Maltby behind the plate, Cole Carlone at first base, Peyton Knowles at second base, Will Burns at shortstop, Josh Hankins at third base, Adam Enyart in left field, Andrew Lamb in center field, and Brett Castillo in right field. In the first inning, he'll face Oliver Dagenhart, Louis Zuleika, and Jordan Joffe, and it looks like we're just about ready to go. Just a few more tosses coming from Kelly, and I wonder for Kelly if there will be any jitters getting this opportunity to pitch that he just hasn't been able to get. He's been warming up in the pen, and his number just hasn't been called. A couple scratches from the lineup to get him to pitch, but now finally the day is here, and he gets to hit as well. So at least he won't have to think too much between innings, can focus on what he wants to do at the plate. As see a beautiful breaking ball there into the mid of Maltby. Maltby getting the start after a fantastic doubleheader on July 4th. I believe 2 for 3 with 4 walks between those two games, a couple of runs batted in as well. So he rightfully gets a spot in the lineup. And now coming to meet Maltby at home plate is Oliver Dagenhart. And now for the play-by-play, here's Vic Maslia.
Thank you, Will. Would like to mention for the first pitch, you had a little bit of an anthem standoff between the Bucs and the Chinooks. Halverson, Kirkwood, and Garvey Rummery were playing it against those Chinooks, and unfortunately Bill Springman had to break up the party, but all fun and games there. Chinooks let out a howl as they won that battle. Unfortunately, Springman did the Bucs in. So Zane Kelly ready. The first pitch to Dagenhart is just off the plate, and we're underway at Mulcahy Stadium. A beautiful sunny night. 6 p.m. over here in Alaska time. Doesn't look a minute over 1 p.m. though. You were in the East Coast. 1-0. Catches the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Bucs are in their black tops. Yellow lettering. Bucs written across the chest, outlined in white. Numbers on the front and back, and those white pinstripe pants. The black pinstripes with the gold piping down the sides. And that one is downstairs. For the visiting Chinooks, they're wearing their red tops, blue lettering. Chinooks written across the chest in blue, outlined in white, and those traveling gray pants with the blue piping. So black against blue, or black against red, excuse me, as this is popped up just outside of the infield grass. Peyton Knowles, the second baseman, is there, and he wraps that in leather for out number 1. So weak fly ball from Zane Kelly, just how he would like to start. And now Luis Zulaika grabs a bat.
Yeah, huge for Kelly to just get that first out when he hasn't seen the field on the mound in so much time. Think that that could settle any nerves that he possibly could have had.
So back-to-back righties to start against the lefty Zane Kelly. Kelly, one of those many lefty bats in the order for the Bucs. The first pitch, it misses and starts him 1-0. Josh Hankins over there at third made some great plays yesterday in that doubleheader. Saw a really nice double play turn at the start of the first game, and just from then on, every single thing hit his way was either put away or it was a great attempt and almost had it. That one missed again. 2 balls, no strikes. Brett Castillo gets the start as well as Adam Inyard. Inyard may be earning that after his nice performance in the 7th inning to close out that game. The 2-0 from Kelly, fouled back.
And talking to Enyart after the game, I think for him, being a hitter is so valuable in the way he pitches. He knows what he likes to see and what he doesn't like to see as a hitter, and I think he really uses that to his advantage when he gets on the mound, and it's obviously worked over the last couple of days, picking up 2 saves in 2 days.
Not the prototypical closer we would expect to come out for the Bucs, but given the situations in the bullpen with how many guys have sore arms and have gone down with injury, Inyart has stepped up and he's been the perfect man for the job. So the wind blowing out from left field, blowing away, usually it's either blowing in or from right to left. So if a righty can get a hold of one, there's that jet stream going out there towards the football field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch is popped up, foul. Good fight by Zulaika. On deck, Jordan Jaffe. Once again, we don't know exactly how long Zane Kelly will go. Just by talking to the coaching staff and from what we know already, he's probably not going to go more than 3 or 4 innings. He's kind of just the opener guy to lead on to the next pitcher, which we also are not privy to. The 2-2, too far outside. The count runs full. Good stop by Dylan Maltby. Once again, getting the start. And he sure earned it after that 4th of July games. Played really well in both of those. Was on base seemingly every at-bat, whether it was a walk or a base hit. He had that triple as well. Brought in a couple of runs. Was a huge help.
100%.
Payoff pitch. Cold strike 3. Zulaika takes a seat, and Zane Kelly's got his first strikeout. A perfectly placed fastball on the outer half takes care of the second baseman for the Chinooks, and that'll bring up Jordan Jaffe.
And quite the impressive feat to strike out Zulaika, just his 2nd strikeout of the season, and Zulaika's an everyday player for these Chinooks.
Yeah, and I would expect a guy like that to go down swinging, but that looked like a pretty good pitch, and it was a late call by the umpire, so maybe just didn't think it was in the zone as that one skips up to the plate.
I think the umpire called the strike with his voice and just a little bit more of a delay in terms of the hand motion, so I think Zulaika knew his fate.
1 ball, no strikes to Jaffe. Zane Kelly, given it's been almost a month since he last pitched with level 1-2-3 to start, as Jaffe fouls that one back. Jaffe on the year for the Chinooks is hitting .240. He has the most at-bats by just 3 over Degenhardt. 18 hits since those 75 at-bats. He's driven in just 5 runs, and that's been the thing that's going wrong with the Chinooks is just not a lot of run scoring. 1-1. That skips up to the plate as well.
And for Jaffe, he had that big 2 RBI triple in the 7th inning against the Bucs on Sunday. A little bit of a wild throw from right field, and he tried to come home on it, but Josh Hankins did a fantastic job backing that play up and making the throw to Briggs, who applied the tag in time.
Derek Jeter-like cutoff play. 2-1. Hits this to right field pretty well, and that's going to get down, and it goes all the way to the wall. Brett Castillo cuts it off. He fires it in. Peyton Knowles will grab it, and it's a stand-up double for Jordan Jaffe with 2 outs.
Yeah, Jaffe, we talked about the triple a couple games ago. Now another extra base hit. This one a double, and unfortunately no 1-2-3 inning for Kelly, but just goes to show how good of a hitter Jaffe is and how dangerous of a hitter he is.
Waited on that pitch from Zane Kelly. Didn't hit it super hard, but very well placed, and was able to get close to that wall, and it took Castillo a good bit of time to get to it, not because he wasn't running, just because of where it was placed and how far off the line he was. So Jaden Hill will get to bat this inning. The cleanup batter playing center field as their normal center fielder. First pitch he sees is downstairs. Jaden Hill with the 3rd most at-bats, 64. He's got 17 hits, sporting a .266 average. He, too, is also driven in just the 5 runs, and a guy that's a cleanup batter, you would expect more. But they've just struggled to get runners on and get him in. 1-0 by Kelly, misses outside. For the Chinooks, just 1 batter batting over 300, and he only has 23 at-bats and has played in just 7 games. That's Dustin Eisenagel, who we saw the last time the Chinooks were here a couple days ago. 2-0, misses way outside. That's going to be a wild pitch, and it'll move Jaffe over to third base.
No chance, really, for Maltby on that one. So far over his head.
So after the first couple of batters, seems like Zane Kelly has lost his command a little bit.
Definitely.
Might be spooked after that double from Jordan Jaffe. So first run standing 90 feet away, and it's Jaden Hill's responsibility to get him in with 2 outs, but he does have a 3-0 count. We'll see if his bat's on his shoulder. Kelly set at the belt, working pretty quickly, and that one is not really anywhere near, so it'll be a 4-pitch walk for Zane Kelly. That'll put runners at first and third for R.J. Rickabaugh.
And wouldn't expect this to give a mound visit for the Bucs, but I did talk to Coach Montez. He's actually struggling with a few injuries of his own.
I heard that.
Achilles, his knee. So that's why we saw Coach Dunham come out for that mound visit yesterday, and we can expect the same today when a mound visit does come.
So I guess he would still go out there if they're changing pitchers, maybe. First one is cracked foul, and I say maybe because Dunham is the bullpen guy, so he's kind of sprinting back and forth between the bullpen. I think that he'd be out there getting the next pitcher ready to go instead of being at the dugout ready to take the last pitcher out. So Maltby giving the first and third signs. See how the Chinooks like to switch things up. Maybe get runners on the move here. There are 2 outs. That one misses upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jaden Hill at first does have 4 stolen bases so far this season. That's 2nd most on the team behind Degenhardt. Not a team that runs a ton.
1 ball, 1 strike to Rickabaugh. The pitch. That breaking ball catches the zone. Good job by Maltby keeping it in front. Longer top first half of the inning. See if Zane Kelly can get out of a little bit of a jam. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. That's downstairs.
And talking about the Chinooks not running a ton, they're dead last in ABL play with just 21 stolen bases. They've only been caught 3 times, so it's not like they're not good at it. They just don't really press the issue very much.
Maybe just not so much of a small ball type of team. 2-2, runner goes, and that one's fouled back. Jaden Hill's going to have to return to first.
Might have hurt us, huh?
Might have.
Chinooks also last in runs scored, so might need to switch something up, and can understand why they're sending Jaden Hill, just trying to get something going. Last in runs, last in the standings, like we mentioned.
Trying to get on the board first here. The way the Bucs have been playing, getting on the board is pretty crucial. I feel like once they get out to a lead, it's hard to catch up. 2-2, runner goes again. A ground ball, that one is through the right side. Jaffe will come around and score. Jaden Hill will head to third, and he'll be there standing up. That ball is keyed in. Peyton Knowles has it, and the Chinooks are up 1-0 early here.
Yeah, just hit right through the right side. No chance for Knowles or Carlone. And for Kelly, you put these guys on with 2 outs and just kind of made to pay.
So with the base hit, no stolen base.
He won't care.
David Broughton now will bat with the same situation. Runners at first and third and 2 outs. Kelly facing his sixth batter now, as this is rocketed into left field. Going back is Adam Inyard. He's at the track, and that one bounces off the wall. Hill scores easily. Coming around is Rickaball. Here comes the throw from Burns. It looks good. The tag, he is safe and just gets by the tag of Dylan Maltby. A great throw by Will Burns, a really good relay all around, but it's a 2 RBI double for David Broughton, and now all of a sudden a 3-0 lead here in the first.
That ball was absolutely crushed by Broughton. The Bucs do a great job of getting it in between Enyart and Burns, and I was waiting for that out call from the home plate umpire, and I guess that Rickaball just barely dodged that tag from Maltby.
And like you were expecting, Dunham comes out to make the mound visit. It will not be Coach Montez, and Briggs, the normal catcher, I guess the catcher we see the most for the Bucs, is starting to run out into the bullpen, and might be time to start getting someone warm. We mentioned to you that Zane Kelly was not supposed to go far in this game at all, given that it's been a month since he last pitched. So already someone getting stretched out there, and it might be time if Zane Kelly keeps struggling here in the first inning. He's got to face Jacob Hayes, the designated hitter. But that play was a lot closer than I was anticipating. I thought Rickaball was going to score with these. Great throw from Enyard, an even better throw from Will Burns, and unfortunately, Rickaball just does a great job at evading that tag, and I believe he got around it barely. For Maltby, he did everything right. When you slide to the outside bag like that, it just makes it, those couple of inches make all the difference.
Yeah, Maltby doing a good job of, most importantly, first securing that baseball. Obviously, you can't make the tag if you don't have the ball, and did a good job of keeping it and holding on to it and applied the tag. Obviously, not the easiest to tell from here if he avoided it or not, but obviously just getting something in on that base safely.
So runner aboard at second, still 2 down. That one's fouled away. All these runs coming with 2 outs.
Yep.
And mind you, Zane Kelly got a fly ball and a strikeout, looked really good, and then a double by Jordan Jaffe. A wild pitch moved him over to the third. Jaden Hill walked, and then Rickaball single. David Broughton a 2 RBI single. 2 RBI doubles. He stands over there at second. Next one misses downstairs. Maltby keeps it in front. Keeps a runner over there at second.
And for a second, I thought that ball might be out, and I think Enyart was thinking similarly. It looked like it hit about 3/4 of the way up on the wall, and Enyart got it in quick, and Burns with a pretty perfect throw to Maltby.
So Zane Kelly trying to work around this runner at second base. It's better than first and third, as that one misses upstairs. Looked like it was Elijah Dew getting stretched out there in the bullpen. Can't see anyone there now. Pretty sure I saw him. So we'll see if Zane Kelly can get through this inning. Maybe goes out there for a second and can just keep the lead at 3. Takes a look at second. Now the delivery. It's too far upstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike. All of a sudden behind again.
30 pitches already for Zane Kelly. Not what we were expecting after those first 2 batters.
Not at all. We thought that maybe it might not be a shutout game because Zane Kelly hasn't pitched in over a month, but the way he pitched a month ago, we certainly not expecting this noise from the Chinooks. 3 balls, 1 strike, the pitch from Kelly. Swung on and missed.
And not only Kelly's success early in the season, but a Chinooks team that has struggled at the plate, just 1 run yesterday. And against the Bucs, only scraping across 3 on Sunday.
So some cloud cover now. We'll see if that helps Zane Kelly. The payoff pitch misses, and it's ball 4. That is the second walk of this inning. Jaden Hill had the first one. So 2 walks and 3 base hits. Or excuse me, 2 base hits. No, 3 base hits already. Also just look at the scoreboard.
8th man to the plate. Really not what you want to see, and we talked about it. As much as the runs would be important for these pitchers to keep off the board, a lot of it's about longevity too, and Kelly not helping himself in that department with this first inning.
It's going to be tough to settle in and try to go a little bit longer as Medeiros turns on this one deep left field. Adam Inyard's going to look up, and that one is over the wall. It's a 3-run home run for Orion Medeiros, and that one was almost a no-doubt shot. He sends it over that wall. And a 6-0 lead as the Chinooks jump out in grand fashion against the Bucs, and it's something that we really have not seen before this summer.
Yeah, that ball was absolutely destroyed by Medeiros. Here in Alaska, you don't really have many no-doubters, but like you said, that one only had to watch it for a couple of seconds. Enyard only had to take a few steps before he just turned and watched it. They're really pulling the ball against Kelly.
And that Chinooks dugout very fired up right now. A 6th spot put up in the first inning. That's something I don't think both teams expected, considering how good the Bucs pitching staff has been. So the 9-hole batter, Brady Groves, comes up to bat with a 6-0 lead. 4 hits, 6 runs. Check swing, and they say he did not go. And now Dew is ramping it up a little bit out there in the bullpen. Dunham is probably going to buy him some time, or maybe he might make the change himself. Dunham is looking out in the bullpen. He's going to call for Elijah Dew, so unfortunate luck for Zane Kelly. Gets the first 2 outs, and unfortunately not able to get that third one. So we'll tell you about Elijah Dew when he comes out. We'll take a little bit of a break, but it's a 6-0 lead for the Chinooks. The Bucs trying to play catch-up when we come back. Welcome back. Unfortunate luck for Zane Kelly and the Bucs. A 6th spot has already been put up here in the first inning. Zane Kelly was able to get the first 2 outs and just struggled after the 2-out double to Jordan Jaffe, a walk, a single, double, a walk again, and then that 3-run shot by Orion Medeiros. Elijah Dew comes into this game. So far, this is his 7th appearance, 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, the 5 earned runs, but he's looked a lot better as of late. The third pitch to Brady Groves is a ball outside. Dew is coming in during the middle of an at-bat. That's when Dunham or Coach Monty decided to make the change. So it's up to Dew. And already with a 3-0 count, he fires this one downstairs. So we'll have a new fresh at-bat. It'll be the top of the order. Degenhardt flew out to Peyton Knowles, the second baseman, in his first at-bat.
And I was just going to say for Dew on July 4th, he pitched 6 innings, getting the start in Game 1. Two hits, 6 strikeouts, just 1 earned run and 1 walk, and we hadn't seen longevity even close to that from Dew, but really impressive stuff.
A great start for him and probably built his confidence up a lot. So now top of the order, Degenhardt will bat again. First pitch he sees, just misses off the plate. 3 straight balls from Elijah Dew, something we're not really used to. He's a big strike thrower. See if he can fill up the zone here now. Just needs a ground ball, something in the air. Anything weak contact does. 1-0, beautiful breaking ball, but just misses. Degenhardt jumped out of the plate, but that almost came back in the strike zone. That wind probably helping Medeiros, but I don't know if it needed a lot of help. It is blowing out to left field. So he hit it in that jet stream. Now Dew checks on the runner. That ball gets away. Carlone sprinting after to it, but that's before Brady Groves will move up 90 feet. So another runner in scoring position after the 2 first batters were retired. Degenhardt, who's up right now, and Luis Zulaika. Next 7 have reached base.
Bucs just cannot figure out this inning, or at least the third out of it.
2-0 count. Dew struggling to find his command to start. But you know, once he does, he pretty much gets locked in. The 2-0. That's a called strike. We'll see if that helps his confidence a little bit. Bucs bats waiting a long time to get their first lick onto Livesey.
Hey, maybe it'll be a problem for Livesey having to wait so long to get out there.
Sure, he started throwing a little bit in the bullpen to stay warm as that one misses downstairs. Now all of a sudden a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And with the lack of arms, with some guys being sore and out with injury, for now it really is Dew's game, and he has got to figure out a way to get this last batter and keep himself in the game as long as possible. Not a lot of options to go to tonight. 3-1. Misses upstairs. Back-to-back walks. Of course, the first one started with the 2-0 count, but Dew has just thrown 1 strike so far.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to come into, even though you knew he'd be a reliever. I think probably expecting a clean inning to come into, and not the case, but even still really just needs to zero in and let these Bucs get to the plate and maybe get a run or 2 back and just give the pitching staff and the defense a little bit of a rest.
The Bucs bats have been fairly quiet recently, just scored 4 runs across 2 games, so 4 runs in 14 innings yesterday. Beautiful breaking ball in there for a called strike, so bats could definitely use some more energy, I would say, and today, more so than a lot of other games because of the pitching staff, they really need to step it up. Going into this game, I would think in general they need to step it up just because there's not a lot of arms to go to, so wasn't really expecting a shutout performance like we've been seeing as of late from this pitching staff.
I mean, this is just something we haven't seen all season.
Not at all.
In all honesty.
We've seen a 6 spot that was put up by the Oilers.
The Bucs were already up 6-0.
Right.
So this is just unfamiliar territory, and we'll be very interested to see how these Bucs respond, but first just got to end this first inning, at least the top half of it.
Just damage control at this point. 2 runners on, 2 outs though, an 0-2 count. Dew brings it. This is rocketed down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. Oh no, they're going to call it foul now. That was late, and that one looked like it was just foul. I did not see it hit that white line.
It was so tough to tell whether it was fair or foul. It was only a matter of inches right on that white paint, and it was so tough to tell if it landed just a bit to the left of it or not. But the Bucs certainly could use that break.
That would have been trouble. Definitely would have scored definitely would have scored Brady Groves at second.
Probably
and probably Degenhardt too. He's off of the crack of the bat. That ball tailing away from in yard 2, wouldn't be surprised. So big break for the Bucs. Trying to end this top half of the first. And it's a lengthy one. 26 minutes long. Sometimes we're through 2 innings by this point. 0-2 misses downstairs.
Yeah, I'm just kind of shocked in all honesty.
It is crickets up here from me and you. I think we're both kind of stunned. This is a Bucs team that is super sound. Pitching wise more so than bats as of late. This pitching staff has been a little bit better. And is the reason why we have the Bucs have been winning so many games, because the bats haven't been as dominant. 1-2 is poked away foul, and gotta hand it to these Chinooks. They are really battling. They were battling against Zane Kelly, waiting for the right pitch, and they got a lot of good pitches to see. And for Zane Kelly, can't shame him too much, because at a certain point, some long at bats like that, you got to throw him something competitive, and they were just able to hit the ball.
Yeah, they're not missing. When they find their pitch to hit, we haven't seen any fly balls that are just missed or anything like that. They're rocketing it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Du's been ahead, and Zuleika's going to call time. Definitely something that could have thrown off Du, but he's back on the rubber, ready to go. Probably telling him to hurry up a little bit in his head.
Maybe add a couple miles per hour to the fastball.
See if he tries to climb the ladder. Blow him away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Du checks on Groves at second, and now the delivery. Popped him up. On the infield, Cole Carlone, the first baseman, will call everyone off, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So an unfortunate inning for the Bucs and Zane Kelly. They give up 6 runs. The Chinooks came to play tonight. We'll see if the Bucs bats came to play. 6-run lead for the Chinooks, and the Bucs coming up when we come back. Welcome back. Unfortunately, the Bucs down big here. 6 spot put up back in the the top half of this first inning. On 4 hits, a 3-run shot by Orion Medeiros that made it 6-0 from a 3-0 lead, and Zane Kelly unfortunately just couldn't get that third and final out. And I think it's insult to injury that he got the first 2 outs pretty easily.
Definitely.
And just struggled after that 2-out double to Jordan Jaffe, which got it the hitting parade started. So Cole Carlone leads off the Bucs. He takes a called strike. The pitcher, Nolan Livesey, is on for the Chinooks. The lefty facing a lefty-heavy Bucs lineup. As far as today goes, Adam Inyard in there is a righty. Josh Hankins as well as a righty. This one is foul-tipped. Dylan Maltby is also a righty, as well as Brett Castillo. So definitely more righties in the lineup today than usual. Eisenstadt not in a lefty. Max Ross, of course, not in, still dealing with that thumb injury. We hope to see him back soon. And a couple other lefties not in the lineup for the Bucs.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Cole Carlone 2 for 3, looked really good in that one RBI. As this one is hit to second base, a great stop by Zulaika, gets up and throws out Cole Carlone. What a play, and that was eerily similar to Carlone's first base hit in yesterday's doubleheader. But that one unfortunately stabbed at by Zulaika, and he made a really nice play.
Yeah, fantastic play. Would have loved to see the Bucs get the leadoff guy on after such a big inning from the Chinooks, but Zulaika saying not so fast.
And back to Carlone, 2 for 3 in the first game. The second game was also 2 for 3 and had a home run as Will Burns rockets this into left field. That'll get down for a base hit. Brady Groves is there and fires it back in. And I was just about to say that it's really important for the Bucs to get the leadoff man on, and Cole Carlone almost did that, but Zulaika just spoiling that opportunity. But back-to-back really good swings from these Bucs hitters. They're hitting the ball pretty hard to start against Livesey.
And Burns has just been hitting the ball hard in general lately, so good to see him rewarded with a base hit there.
Sure has. Yesterday's doubleheader was really tough sledding. Had 1 strikeout in the first game, but 3 in the second game, and just looked really not himself. So, good start today. Hopefully he keeps it up. This is a tapper out to third base. Grabbing it is Broughton. He throws, and he gets the man for the second out. So, Lamb is retired.
I hope that Livesey's okay. Kind of took a tumble there.
Almost like he was fake diving for it. Kind of an interesting play. So, Lamb is out, and that'll be 2 outs for Adam Inyart, who came into the second game and was perfect. Besides that 2-out walk, looked really good, just pumping fastballs. First 6 pitches were strikes, and he just looked really sharp. So hopefully the same for his bat. Bucs trying to just get maybe 1 back this inning. First pitch misses.
And for Enyart, fastball after fastball, and then use that breaking ball and just caught the batter looking. When you have that fastball command, it just opens up so many other opportunities for you as a pitcher.
1 ball, no strike, the pitch. Low and inside. And I always wonder if the Bucs know early on if there's a lefty pitcher on the hill, because I feel like that they would know after they already set the lineup, but it seems like whenever there's been a lefty pitcher on, there's been more righty bats in the lineup, so I guess that they maybe have a way of knowing before. 2-0. Big swing and a miss. Slowed him down with that pitch, and his bat way out in front on it.
Could be wrong on this, but doesn't the home team get to make the final lineup decision?
I guess that would be it, but usually they hand it to each other at the same time, so it's kind of a done deal, I would think. Right before the game, we see Tim Cole and Bill Springman handing each other the lineups. So we'd have to go back and change it and then give him another one. So that's a called strike.
Or maybe just they ask who they're planning on starting? I'm not sure. Because like you said, we haven't seen a lot of late changes.
Deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Bucs looking for some luck here. Runner in scoring position, it's Will Burns. Pitch is swung on and missed. He gets Burns swinging, so after the base knock by Will Burns, nothing doing for the Bucs. We head to the top half of the second inning, still a 6-0 lead for the Chinooks. Top half of the second, still a 6-0 lead. It's going to be Jordan Joffe to lead things off for the Chinooks here in the second inning. Zulaika, Degenhardt both got second licks at the Bucs pitching staff, and Degenhardt drew a walk. Zulaika flew out to Cole Carlone at first. Jordan Joffe trying to test that right field line again and fouls it away.
And Joffe got everything started for the Chinooks. Degenhardt and Zulaika, quick outs for Zane Kelly, and then Joffe's double really got the train moving, and that train did not stop very quickly.
That train technically is still going a little bit if the Chinooks can add on here in the second inning, but Elijah Dews looked really good in his appearances so far, and the one team he did struggle against was the Chinooks down in Chugiak. That was a outing where he gave up 5 runs, Will, if I'm not mistaken.
That was pulled after just 2/3 of an inning.
1-1, and that one is up and in. Those 5 runs for Dew are the only runs he's given up out in Chugiak. He's also pitched in some non-league games, so some stuff not on the stat sheet, but for the league games, those 5 runs all coming at Chugiak. He's looked really sharp besides that. 2-1. How's that out of play?
And Dew has been used as a reliever, obviously limiting his innings. So unfortunate that July 4th game doesn't go towards his stats, because
Right.
6 innings, just 1 earned run would have
Cut it
really
in half.
brought that ERA down.
Yeah. 6, but a ERA over 6 would have been brought down somewhere around 3 if those stats counted towards his record.
Should do a lot for his confidence, though. Really looked great on the 4th.
2-2 count to Joffe. Breaking ball, misses just a bit. Now a payoff pitch to come. Joffe always a tough bat against these Bucs, I feel like. His average doesn't really show how well he's been hitting, at least against the Bucs, just sporting a 240 average. 3-2, rockets this into left field. Adam Inyart has enough room to make that grab as he was coming in to make the play. So a looping line drive out for Jordan Joffe will bring up Jaden Hill. After Joffe's double in the wild pitch, Hill walked. That made it runners at first and third. Then Rickabaugh got the scoring started with an RBI base hit. David Broughton with a 2 RBI double. And Ryan Medeiros, a 3-run home run. And that is where we stand right now.
And that homer for Medeiros, just the 3rd of the season for these Chinooks, joining Joffe and Degenhardt in the home run club.
1-0 to Hill. Is hit to center field pretty deep, giving it chase Andrew Lamb, going back, and that one's over his head, and it bounces to the wall. Hill rounding second base. He turns on the Jets. He's going to head to third. The throw now just hitting the cutoff man, and it's over the head of Josh Hankins, but luckily Elijah Dew is there to back it up. But it is a 1-out triple for Jaden Hill, and he makes himself known with that triple, Selly.
Yeah, that ball was destroyed, and you could tell it because Andrew Lamb turned and sprinted immediately. You could tell that he was worried right away, and great job by Elijah Dew, because that throw from Burns to third was over the head of Josh Hankins, and if Dew's not there, as he should be, but still easy to slip up mentally, then Hill probably comes all the way around.
So the infield creeps up. Just shows you the Bucs are confident that they can get back into this game, trying to protect that 7th run. A ground ball out to Carlone. He checks Hill. He's going to go to first base and makes the play with ease.
Great job by Cole Carlone to check the runner even a couple of times, make sure that he wasn't going to come home after that first look, and still have enough time to go over to the first base bag.
And if that's hit any more off of the line at first base, if Carlone decides to dart to first, Jaden Hill might have a chance at going home, but luckily 2 down now for David Broughton. But he had that 2 RBI double back in the first inning. So already he got his lick, and now trying to get another one as that one is outside from Dew. And that line drive out into left field that was caught was a looping line drive, but it was struck pretty well by Joffe, and that last one by Jaden Hill struck even better. Force got over the head of Andrew Lamb, hit it to the deepest part of the field. 1-0 misses downstairs.
These Chinooks are just squaring up balls, and it's not something we're used to, not only from the Bucs pitching staff, but from the Chinooks as hitters. Yes, they put up 7 in a game against the Bucs, but they've been one of the weaker teams at the plate.
And it was Elijah Dew who they really got a hold of, giving up those 5 runs, and that was a lot of hard-hit contact against Dew, who has a 3-0 count on a David Broughton all of a sudden.
And if I'm not mistaken, though, Duke coming out before all those runs scored, obviously they were still his responsibility, but whoever came after wasn't able to finish things up either.
Yeah, I believe he gave up 3 on his own, somewhere around that, and then maybe the last 2. 3 that misses upstairs. A 4-pitch walk to David Broughton after getting that ground ball out. So runners at first and third. There's been now this is a third time where a Chinooks batter comes to the plate and it's first and third. One of the toughest plays to work around. There are 2 outs though. So Maltby will give the signs.
And after that ground ball to Carlone, I thought, the Bucs were getting things on the right track. It was so big, especially on the first pitch from Dew to get Rickabaugh to ground out to Carlone. But just when things look like they're going well, turned around with a 4-pitch walk.
2 down for Jacob Hayes. First pitch he sees from Dew is outside, and it's 5 straight balls after that ground ball out.
16 balls and 11 strikes for Elijah Dew.
Lamb still playing fairly shallow there, even after that double by Jaden Hill got over his head, and that one misses again. 6 straight balls, something we're not used to seeing from Dew, because even in that game where he struggled against the Chinooks, he was still pounding the zone. That was the reason why they had so many hits, is because he was just throwing it over the plate, not necessarily over the plate, but he was pounding the zone, and they were just hitting it everywhere. And here, all of a sudden, just falling behind to these batters.
And that's what he did with Johnson this season as well. An incredible strikeout to walk ratio for Elijah Dew. 26 strikeouts and 5 walks. So not a guy that you can expect to just be missing on a consistent basis.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Maltby's going to fake the throw to keep Jaden Hill from moving. Probably a wise decision. Hill looked antsy over there and might have gone if Maltby decided to throw down. So they'll concede the bag at second. It was a swing and a miss. So Deuce is wild. Dew trying to get himself out of a little bit of a jam. Bucs really trying to keep this lead at 6 runs. Not that 6 and 7 runs. Oh, and they're going to call a balk, and I don't know. I didn't see anything. I mean, it's such a minute thing that could go wrong for a balk. Sometimes they're super obvious, and sometimes they're not. I'm just not sure what he did exactly.
Yeah, Will Burns is befuddled over at short, and just nothing going the Bucs' way so far.
Not much of an argument out of Dew. So that is the 7th run coming across for the Bucs via the balk. 2-2, popped up foul out of play. I mean, it's probably even harder to see on your screen, and it's hard to see from up here, just the slightest little twitch, and they'll call you for it. Like Will said, just nothing going right for these Bucs. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count with 2 outs. Ron moves to third. The pitch way far outside.
Good job by Maltby to get all over that ball. Don't want Broughton coming home on a wild pitch.
A payoff pitch to come for Jacob Hayes. Orion Medeiros awaiting on deck. The pitch. Check swing. They'll appeal, and they say he didn't go, so Medeiros will have another shot at a Bucs pitcher. This time it's Elijah Dew.
Another first and third situation. Just so many men on for the Chinooks in the early goings. We're still here in the second inning. They did such a good job in the first. They did strand 2, but obviously 6 coming around to score. And hopefully Dew can strand 2 more here and just get those Bucs bats back to the plate. It's got to be tough for Livesey. Hasn't really been able to get into a rhythm. And hopefully if Dew can limit the damage, the Bucs bats can take advantage of that.
So the batter now, Ryan Medeiros, a 3-run shot just last inning to make it a 6-0 lead. And now it looks like another arm has gone to the bullpen. It actually might look like a new addition, Will. And Jake Rafferty.
Yeah, I believe that is big number 18. And even though he's a rising freshman, he does not look like it. 6'4", 225. We got a taste of him in that All-Star game a couple of weeks ago. And he'll fit right in from a size standpoint, that's for sure. He can play with these college kids. But for the Bucs, we talked about how important it would be for Kelly and whoever comes after him, that now being Dew, to go deep into this game, and neither of them are pitching up to what we know they're capable of.
No, not at all. And with 2 days off tomorrow, you definitely don't want to push anyone's arm that has pitched a lot just to try to stay into this ball game. Now down 7 runs, and not saying that the Bucs will necessarily concede this game at all, but it does make sense that they would go with Rafferty. Oh, and they just tossed Elijah Dew. The umpire just tossed Elijah Dew, who seemingly moved his glove to tell the umpire either to give him some space. I'm not really sure what he said, and now Dew has got to be careful here. Bill Springman's gonna come out of the dugout. Well, I did not expect this expect this to happen at all.
It's really just spiraled here. We're only in the second inning, and everything's just going wrong for the Bucs. And not sure. I know after an injury that the pitcher has unlimited warm-up tosses. Not sure what the rule is on an ejection, or if Rafferty's just going to have to come into this game and only get those 8 tosses.
So unfortunate for Elijah Dew. And he's beelining it back to the dugout. And he's going to try to avoid Bill Springman, and that is so unfortunate for these Bucs. So we're going to have to take a break. Rafferty is probably not ready yet, so it will be an extended break. We'll try to come back as early as possible, give you more on Jake Rafferty. So a 7-0 lead for the Chinooks, 2 outs, just 1 more left. Welcome back. Some unfortunate news. The Bucs down now 7-0, and Elijah Dew has been tossed from the game. So that leaves it up to Jake Rafferty. We saw him pitch against these Bucs in the high school All-Star game just a couple of weeks back. Now I guess 3 weeks back. But he pitched against these Bucs, and he just graduated high school and is heading to college. What do we know about him?
Yeah, heading to Tacoma Community College as for high school. Service High School here in Anchorage, Alaska. 10 appearances, 4 starts, a 1.66 ERA, 6-0 with a save, 38 innings pitched, just 12 hits, 59 strikeouts, and 28 walks. And I think what the Bucs will be asking of him is just to put the ball over the plate and eat innings. They need that more than anything for him to eat innings. And yes, it's important to keep this lead for the Chinooks where it is, but more importantly, just getting outs and doing so as quickly as possible in such a difficult situation for him to come into with a couple of guys aboard in the middle of a count 1-0. And of course, the guy at the plate, Orion Medeiros, the one who crushed that ball over the left field wall. So a lot of things kind of working against Jake Rafferty, but it looks like the home plate umpire is giving him as many warm-up tosses as he'd like, but seems like he's ready to go now, and he's going to have his best stuff for the Bucs to get out of this inning and then to keep going in ABL play in this game in a league that he hasn't had any experience in.
And from what I remember about him, he didn't pitch bad against the Bucs. He just was walking a lot of guys, and I'm sure that there was an intimidation factor, but now he's already faced against big league college guys. Maybe he's more comfortable. Faces Orion Medeiros. the 1-0 count, and that one's fouled back. So good start by Rafferty. Like you said, just need him to eat innings. There are not a lot of options in the bullpen. And as of right now, Will, you're down 7 runs. You really don't want to use your best guys, right? I mean, you have 2 days off in the next couple of days. You really just don't want to waste anyone in a 7-0 ball game unless it gets closer. 1-1 finds a zone, and Rafferty thinking that was strike 3.
Yeah, I think the count maybe read 0-2 for a part of that break before being switched to 1-0, so maybe he thought he was coming into an 0-2 count.
So Rafferty will have to try again. A tough batter to face. Medeiros coming off of that 3-run shot. For Rafferty, he was the starter against these Bucs, and I'm sure he's mostly obviously used as a starter at his high school, so is used to going longer in games, and he gets a swinging strikeout from Medeiros. So Jake Rafferty, welcome to the ball club, gets a swinging strikeout off of Medeiros, who hit the 3-run shot. So another run comes across for the Chinooks. It's now a 7-0 lead. How about the Bucs get those bats going in the bottom half? Bottom half of the second inning. Chinooks get another run across. It's a 7-0 lead. Stepping up to the dish is Josh Hankins. You'll see Nolan Livesey, and he's had a long rest once again. This one's outside. We are now at 53 minutes, and we're just at the start of the bottom half of the second inning.
How about Jake Rafferty, though?
How about him? Comes into this game pumping fastballs as Hankins pops this one up straight up the chimney chute. It's going to be the third baseman, David Broughton, to grab that one for out number 1. But going back to Rafferty, coming in, throwing strikes. Just took a couple of pitches to take care of Orion Medeiros, who came off of a 3-run shot. So great work by him, and hopefully he can keep that same comfortability out there and not get too ahead of himself. And like I said, he's faced big league bats or college level bats like the Bucs. So he definitely has that experience. It's just a matter of if he can lock in and just play damage control at this point, Will.
And even in a 7-0 game, still encouraging signs and things to be happy about your club. And the Bucs, as that one finds the outside corner, the Bucs were just giving him so much credit and cheering him as he came back into the dugout in such a good way to win over your teammates coming into such a difficult spot.
1-1 to Zane Kelly, misses low and in.
And I think it's great for Kelly that he can stay in this game. Don't want him to get too down on himself about the rough outing. Got 2 outs pretty easily and just couldn't get the third. We see that happen.
Next one catches a corner, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and always a great feeling when you get that type of ovation after a good inning, and especially for a guy that just joined the ball club and coming in this circumstance too. Zane Kelly lifts this out to left field. Coming in is Brady Groves, and just able to get that at the shoelaces for out number 2.
Yeah, caught that one real low, that's for sure. I think kind of a late break on it.
Yeah, started going back a little bit. Not going back, but just didn't dart in hard enough. That ball was a looping line drive, and what we know about the way that the ball flies, it kind of just dies, especially when it's hit at that angle. So Peyton Knowles will bat 2 quick outs from Livesey, and if you're the Chinooks, you're a little worried about him going back out there with back-to-back long rest, and he has proved to shut these Bucs hitters down, at least the first 2 here, and everyone but Will Burns.
Just crazy that Knowles is coming to the plate for the first time, and everybody except for Brady Groves, as that one's low and outside, who will lead things off next inning and made that catch just now, has bat twice already for the Chinooks.
Just not what the Bucs were expecting. 1-1 gets the inside corner, and Peyton Knowles doesn't like that call, and the home plate umpire's feeling himself a little bit here. That one did not really look that close to me at all. That one looked like a ball inside. 1-2, ground ball out to short. Oliver Dagenhart has it. The peg to first is in time. A quick 1-2-3 inning for the Chinooks. Livesey looks really good. We head to the top of the third, still a 7-0 lead. Top of the third inning here in Anchorage, a 7-0 lead for the Chinooks, and they're looking to add on, but Jake Rafferty newly into the game for the Bucs, the third pitcher so far. St. Kelly, Elijah Dew, unfortunately just couldn't get it done, so that leaves it up to Rafferty, and it is crickets in the bullpen right now. Not a lot of options for these Bucs, so it's really his ball game. And he'll have to go through Brady Groves, and then Oliver Dagenhart and Luis Zuleika. So 9-1 and 2 due up. This is Brady Groves' second at bat, and you were saying last half inning the Bucs bottom three, or at least bottom two, have not gotten a chance to hit yet. 1-0 fouls that one out of play.
And for Rafferty, obviously don't know what his summers looked like from a baseball standpoint. We know he pitched in that All-Star game, but would think at least from game-wise, he'd be relatively fresh, and the Bucs would love for him to eat a few innings here.
Should be pretty comfortable out there. You're down 7 runs. 1-1, and that one misses. And like I said, you're down 7 runs. The pressure's kind of off. You're not in a highly pressured situation if you're Rafferty. Just go out there, do your thing. 2-1. Just gets a piece of it, fouls it back.
And Rafferty, a mound that he's comfortable pitching on. Obviously, he's done it before. So for some guys coming in here, it would be maybe a little bit overwhelming, but wouldn't think he'd be one of those guys.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Haverty, and a swing and a miss. How about back-to-back strikeouts for their first 2 batters face, and both swinging strikeouts? So just goes to show you that Rafferty has got that stuff to blow you away, and they really can't touch him, at least the first 2 batters.
And he's feeling himself out there on the mound, a little strut after that strikeout, and have yourself a day. Youngest player on this team and showing that he belongs.
Looked comfortable out there against the Bucs, just struggled with command a little bit. It's a called strike, but also from when I remember that game, the Bucs weren't really hitting it super hard. It was a lot of walks from Rafferty and just
some fielding errors.
Just fielding errors, yeah. Just, I don't want to say what we expected from high school players, but against collegiate athletes, it's something that is definitely not surprising. And
especially when they don't have a lot of experience playing together.
Right.
So that explains some of the errors in the field, but Rafferty maybe getting some of those jitters out back on that day. And hey, even before that game, general manager Sean Maltby knew that he liked this kid, and now we can see why.
Yeah, Maltby teased us that Rafferty would be a Buck next year. This is grounded out to short. Will Burns has it. It's got to go quick, but he makes the play for the second out. And like I was saying, Maltby told us that he was going to get Rafferty, try to make him a Buck, and he pretty much already had him locked in for next season, but next season came a little bit early. And Rafferty gets the start now, and I'm wondering, If he pitches well here up in Anchorage, and if he'll be back with the Bucs again next year, definitely could. He's from up here.
Yep, an Anchorage native and just continuing to do a good job, throwing strikes, getting outs. All you can ask of him, and like we said, great to see some encouraging sign in a game that's just been so bad from the Bucs standpoint so far.
Luis Zulaika gets a ball that almost hits him in the head. That one just didn't spin off the fingertips of Rafferty. One ball, no strikes. Zulaika a strikeout and a flyout. The only Chinook to have not reached base besides, or no, excuse me, he's the only Chinook to not reach base so far. Everyone else, either a walk or a base hit. 2 balls, no strikes. Might find himself on here now. And he cracks this one foul. That one was hit really hard.
Yeah, way out in front though. Through Rafferty, don't let it scare you. In the end, it's just a foul ball, and it's just a strike. And these guys have not yet shown an ability to hit him hard in fair territory, and he's got to be encouraged by that. Really doesn't look overwhelmed or overmatched.
2 balls, 1 strike. That one's outside. Of course, you can't foresee what's going to happen before the game today, but obviously, if you're a fan of the Bucs, you might be thinking, well, why didn't you just start Rafferty? He's known to be a starting pitcher, and he's ready to go. He just got called up. The Bucs are already light on their pitchers. They're not using their normal starters, and Zane Kelly, why not just throw him out there? But that's just not really the plan going into this game, and it could have been the same story. The Chinooks could have hit Rafferty just as well. 3-1 misses, and that's a 2-out walk for Zulaika, who does find himself on base.
Also, in an ideal world, I'm thinking with Rafferty, you'd want to see him in a low leverage situation where maybe he only needs to work an inning or two, and we kind of talked about that off the air before the broadcast. And when you put someone out there as a starter, we know Kelly was only supposed to go an inning or two, but that was more so because he was a hitter in this one and kind of the lineup configuration that goes along with that. But as far as Rafferty goes, if you start him, you're asking him to do a lot. You're putting a lot of expectations on him.
Totally different mindset.
Can totally understand why he wasn't used as the starter.
The first pitch to Jaffe is rocketed into right center field. That one's going to be trouble. It splits the gap. Andrew Lamb heading over. He lets it get to the wall, now picks it up. A run's going to come around to score. Jaffe heading into third base. Peyton Knowles double clutches the throw, not in time. And it's an RBI for Jaffe as he knocks in Luis Zulaika. The lead extends to 8 runs.
Yeah, really the first time that we've seen Rafferty hit hard, and that time Jaffe really getting all of it. Second time we've seen him go the other way for extra bases, and I want to commend Josh Hankins, though, for fielding that ball on a couple of hops, a difficult ball to field from Peyton Knowles, but doing a good job of that and keeping Jaffe at third instead of coming all the way around.
The way that ball skips on the gravel out there, it's tough for Lamb to dead sprint to it and try to pick it up. He kind of has to let it bounce around and settle before he picks it up. So understandably so, taking him a little bit longer to get out there. It wouldn't have mattered, though. So Jaden Hill bats. A walk and a triple for him in his last at-bat. Scored on the balk. 0-1 misses low and in.
And for Rafferty, shouldn't let that triple scare him. He's only given up the 1 run here so far, and just go back to what he was doing and just have confidence in himself.
1 ball, 1 strike. Just needs the 3rd out. This pitch is lifting to left field, might get down, but Adam Inyart will track it down for out number 3. So Rafferty able to work around the RBI triple. Looks really good here so far. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Bucs trying to scratch across a run. Back here at Mulcahy Stadium, now an 8-0 lead for the Chinooks as they get another run. 6 in the first and 1 in the second and third. Still goose eggs for the Bucs as Dylan Maltby heads to the plate. Maltby, a great last game in that doubleheader in 4th of July. Takes a called strike on the outer half, but Maltby so far just doesn't have the stats to show for it because he hasn't played that many games, but in the non-league game, that doubleheader of 4th of July, a great showing from him. Triple, base hit RBI, couple RBIs, just looked really good both games.
100%. And with Lamb playing in center field and Briggs catching a lot so far for these Bucs, I think that July 4th appearance showing that he can play.
1-1 skips up there. Maltby spits on it. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And Maltby's knees got to be killing him. He's spent so much time so far in that crouch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Brody Briggs has to come in. Of course, Andrew Lambs is playing in center field, so I would assume he wouldn't be an option. 2-1, hit right back to the pitcher. Livesey will take it, and he'll toss to Jordan Jaffe for out number 1. Maltby hit it the right spot, just didn't get it past Livesey, who makes the easy play for out number 1. Mark that as a 1-3, as he did toss it to Jaffe.
Yeah, not sure that he needed to, but chose to. And unfortunate for Maltby, hit it decently off the bat, and just a good job by Livesey to field the position.
So Brett Castillo, the 9-hole batter. First at bat here in the 3rd inning. Just 1 base runner has reached for the Bucs. That was Will Burns with the base hit. 1-0 misses outside.
Not sure we've seen this look from Castillo before, the white long sleeve turtleneck under the black Bucs jersey.
Shades of Chipper Jones. That it looks fresh. Chipper usually wear the navy blue one though. 2-0 almost hits him. Always like the turtlenecks. I feel like that's such a 2000s thing for baseball players, and it's kind of just gone out of style a little bit.
I don't know how I feel about it in July, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, July up here is a lot different, but
That's
you're right.
fair.
July in MLB, 100%. 3-0, that misses. A 4-pitch walk with 1 out will bring up Cole Carlone.
Good guy to have up with a man aboard, that's for sure. Carlone 0 for 1, but we know one of the best hitters on this Bucs team, and with Castillo over there at first, wonder if he's a guy we might see on the mound at some point.
Yeah, definitely a guy that could eat up innings for these Bucs, and I would not be surprised. But he's already in the lineup, so would have to take someone out, put him in. That's not a huge deal, but
The difficulty would be for him to warm up. Another
Right.
reason why Kelly was a starter.
Carlone takes that one outside.
I was talking before the game with you, if Kelly wasn't a starter, but they were trying to warm him up, and then his place came up in the order, that would have created some problems, and you would have the same problems with Castillo over in right field.
Sure, Kelly wants to make up for it, but he's not going to be hitting for a little bit. That one gets up the middle, and it's a base hit for Cole Carlone. So back-to-back runners aboard for the Bucs. A walk and a single that will bring up Will Burns.
And good job by Carlone. Just always has such a steady approach. Wasn't trying to do too much there, just putting the ball in play and placed it perfectly between Degenhardt and Zuleika up the middle.
So 2 on, 1 down. Will Burns a single back in the first. I feel like it's been an eternity since he was up at the plate.
Sure has been.
2 very long innings for the Chinooks, and that one not super fast as in general. Rafferty's struggling a little bit with Jaffe, but besides that, did a really good job of getting himself out of that jam. 2 balls, no strikes quickly to Will Burns. The Bucs could just start chipping away. A couple runs here, a couple runs there. Slowly get that lead down, and that one gets away from Rickaball. Castillo will head into third base. Carlone moves first to second, and now 2 runners in scoring position. The Bucs knocking at the door.
Great job taking the extra base when it presents itself. Both guys getting a good read on that one. And Burns, who's been hitting the ball extremely well, like you said, already has a hit tonight. Maybe can put one into the outfield and get the Bucs on the board.
So 2 balls, no strikes. This one hits the outside part of the plate, 2-1. Sun's still shining here, going in and out of the clouds, but bright blue skies. Beautiful day for a Bucs comeback. How about that? 3-1. Or excuse me, 2-1 as that one's fouled back. So 2-2.
Like to see Burns put up a good fight here. Just 1 strikeout so far for Livesey.
8-0 lead for the Chinooks, but all it takes is a big inning here. Playing a crooked number would do the trick. This one just misses off the plate. That one's really close. I think a strike was called to Peyton Knowles that was even further outside to Will Burns, but it would have been inside to Peyton Knowles.
I think Burns was worried there for a second. He was going to be rung up.
Does have a team leading 16 strikeouts. 3-2. And that is number 17, but that looked further off the plate than the last one.
100% looked further off the plate than the last one. Good job by Burns to withhold probably some temptations he had to give a word to the home plate umpire, but I just don't understand how that can be a strike and the pitch before it would not be.
I don't either. But unfortunately for Will Burns, that's a 17 strikeout. He does have 15 walks, though. But as of late, that strikeout number has just gone up. So Andrew Lamb, the last hope for the Bucs here in the third inning with 2 down and 2 aboard. First pitch he sees misses upstairs. I feel like that could have been a makeup call, Will. Correct me if I might be wrong, but I don't know.
I just don't get it. When you see those two, it's not like there were a few pitches in between. They were immediately back to back.
I feel like it'd be too obvious to do a makeup call, but one looked like it was a padded one. 1-0 in the dirt. Great stop by Rickaball.
Great stop indeed. Not an easy pitch to keep in front of you, and Castillo and Carlone surely not too happy about that.
Two balls, no strikes, 2 down. Pitch is hit well into right center field. That might get down, and it will. It splits the gap. Coming around to score is Castillo. Carlone will score with these. How about a 2 RBI triple for Andrew Lamb as he gives a little wave to the Bucs dugout. 8-2 is the lead. The Bucs slowly getting back into this one.
Great to see the Bucs get on the board. That's all you need to start, is just get a couple runs on the board and show yourself that you can do it, giving the Chinooks a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, doing it with 2 outs, and a great piece of hitting by Andrew Lamb. And we were talking about Chipper Jones with the turtleneck. How about the little rock on sign from Andrew Lamb over at second base?
Yeah, the little I love you. If you really put it up there, it spells that. I'm not really sure which hand or how you do it, but it does spell I love you. That's one thing I got out of Chipper Jones' little celebration he'd do after home runs. First pitch to Adam Midyard misses outside. I love Andrew Lamb's approach. The no batting gloves, just cranks
Gritty.
the ball, and it is gritty. The way he swings it, the way he carries himself, and it's just everything. It's just grit. He's a tough guy out there, and that's a tough call from the home plate umpire. It makes it 0-2. Same spot that got Will Burns. At least that's consistent. Just a great job by Andrew Lamb. Just gets things done. And I say that because he's a utility guy. Gets things done wherever he is on the field and at the plate. 0-2, a tapper. Jordan Joffe's going to have to wait on it. They're going to say it's a fair ball. Inyart was not running, so that takes care of the Bucs, but it's all after a 2 RBI double from Andrew Lamb. The score is now 8-2. The lead cut to just 6 for the Chinooks as we head to break.
2 hits.
Welcome back here. Hopefully Will can provide some better luck for these Bucks. They did get 2 runs last half inning, but now for the play-by-play, here's Will. Please, some good luck.
Appreciate it, Vic. Hey, you got things going in the bottom of the third there.
All right.
Need some more luck on the mound and on the defensive side of things, though, that's for sure, as Rafferty misses inside to R.J. Rickabaugh, who's 1 for 2. Rickabaugh with that first RBI back in the first inning. Rafferty delivers, check swing, and Rickabaugh did go around.
I think the third base umpire got some help from the Bucks dugout. Not saying that influenced his call, but I don't know if he would like to hear the reactions if he didn't agree with them.
1-1 grounder on the right side. Carlone will glove it. He'll flip to Rafferty, who does a great job of getting over there and looks super comfortable with the first baseman that he hasn't worked with before.
I was just about to say, even the big leaguers, some guys just, the mind goes blank a little bit, even though PFPs, pitcher fielding practices, happen all the time. Some guys just are focused on the hill, and that ground ball goes to first, and some pitchers just aren't really there to cover the bag, but not Rafferty. He's right there, gets up and sprinting over there to first base. You love to see it, and the Bucks dugout sure loves to see it.
So now David Broughton swings and misses as at the pitch from Rafferty. He hasn't been retired yet. A 2 RBI double in the first and then a walk.
I love that by Rafferty. No hesitation. He saw that ground ball, and he immediately went over there. It's a big league type of play.
0-1 breakers upstairs, and you're talking about that call from the third base umpire with the Bucks dugout nearby. It's interesting. I've done some research on home field advantage and why it exists, and the number one thing I read was actually about officiating and umpiring, because subconsciously people are people pleasers. This one hit in the air on the foul line on the first base side will go into foul territory, and Carlone makes the play for the second out.
Just efficient from Rafferty, and this is what the Bucks need, because even though Rafferty maybe has not pitched in a good bin and is fully rested, he really can only go so many pitches. So for the Bucks, you don't want him to have have long at bats for these Chinooks and have to use another arm, even though it might be an arm like Castillo, who doesn't really pitch a lot. But still, if Rafferty can go the distance, let him go as long as possible.
Last pitch was his 26th. First one to Hayes is downstairs. I know the pitch counter on the scoreboard says 27. Things get a little wacky when pitchers come in the middle of an at-bat, which we've seen for both pitching changes so far for the Bucks. 1-0 cut on and missed. We saw Elijah Dew come in a 2-0 count, and then Rafferty come in a 1-0 count that I think he might have thought was 0-2. Got the strikeout anyways.
That's awesome. I mean, honestly, that is really impressive, because as a pitcher, similar to a batter, your mental game switches when you have an 0-2 count versus a 1-0 count, and especially first batter you face.
1 ball and 1 strike way inside to Jacob Hayes.
But yeah, like I was saying, you come into the game thinking, okay, 0-2, 0-2. I'm 0-2 approach. I'm going to throw a waste pitch, and all of a sudden now it's 2-0. But Rafferty not the same. He immediately got that foul ball and made it a 1-1 count.
Probably felt differently about that foul ball. I was thinking, great, foul ball. He's like, oh, he spoiled it. But no spoiling of that one from Jacob Hayes.
Right. That's exactly right. But just a great job changing up his mentality. Once he realized that was the second strike instead of the third, he was able to lock back in, and just a couple pitches later get the strikeout.
Deuces here in the top of the fourth. Bucks looking to give the Chinooks their first 0 of the game, and that one misses outside.
This would be huge for Rafferty. Not just the 1-2-3. Forget that. Just leaving a goose egg up there. Keeping these Chinooks from scoring, especially after just getting 2 runs back.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Hayes. Strike 3 called. Jake Rafferty gets Hayes looking. And there is a 1-2-3 inning. There's a 0, and boy, does that look good on the top half of the 4th inning for the Chinooks. The Bucks have scored the last 2. Let's get some more when we come back. quickly back for the bottom of the fourth inning. Not a high number of tosses from Livesey, and Josh Hankins will lead things off here in the fourth. A 0 for the Chinooks in the top half of this inning after 6 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third. And we thought Rafferty belonged. I don't think anymore. I know he belongs as Hankins takes a strike.
Definitely. He's just been really good so far. Just that one mistake pitch from Joffe. But other than that, it's been nails.
Check swing pitch is called a strike, though, and I think it's safe to say Rafferty's been the Bucs' best pitcher today, and obviously not the best stuff from Kelly or Dew, but good to know you have just another arm in a long list once these guys are healthy of arms that can come out of the pen, arms that can start. Obviously that depth being tested right now, though. 1-2 is too far outside. Zane Kelly waiting on deck, and Peyton Knowles in the hole. Bucs trying to add on to those 2 runs they scored in the third and maybe get a little scoring streak of their own started. 2-2 hit into left center field, and there's a hit for Josh Hankins. He rounds first. He's headed for second base. The throw from Jaden Hill is not in time. It's a leadoff double for Josh Hankins.
Hustle double. I loved Hankins running out of the box, and he didn't hesitate at all. He knew from the moment he hit it that he was going to try for second base. And a good play by Jaden Hill. He recognized that Hankins was going to and just overshot the cutoff man, sent it right into second base. But because he shot through the cutoff man, that ball was a little bit of a looping liner to second base, and is probably why Hankins was able to get in there.
I was a little worried about Hankins around first. He didn't have the best turn. Looked like he had to look down because he thought he was going to miss the bag, but he did step on that pillow, and also the second one as Kelly fouls one back.
But yeah, a better throw from Hill, and with that little mishap rounding first base, and they could have gotten Hankins.
Would love to see the Bucs get a couple of runs here in the fourth, and suddenly we might have a ball game on our hands. In large part to Rafferty being able to shut down the Chinooks bats. Too high, it's 1-1. And I know that Kelly wants to have him back at the plate after how things went with 2 outs in the first with him on the mound.
Definitely wants to make up for it. Another arm is starting to get ready out in the bullpen.
1 ball, 1 strike. Make it 1-2.
Looks like it might be Castillo. I think he shedded the turtleneck.
Yeah, it is. I see the 22 in the lefty delivery.
So we assume that he could probably come on to pitch, given that he has not pitched in, I don't think at all this summer, even in a non-league game. Maybe in that All-Star game he pitched.
I feel like we've seen him at least once.
Right. It was definitely a non-league game. It's not on the record.
Even count to Zane Kelly, who's batting 6th, Castillo batting 9th. And Kelly, the DH, could not just take Castillo's spot in right, or the Bucs would lose the DH. A grounder to second. Zulaika makes the throw to first, but Kelly gets Hankins over to third base with 1 out now.
Yep, did his job. Sure, Zane trying to turn on that one, send it into the gap, but hey, doing your job here. And now with this 6-run deficit, the Bucs will take really anything. They don't need big balls in the gap and something over the wall. They just need to move runners on, get him on first, which Hankins did a good job of, but just move him over, just slowly chip away at this lead.
First pitch to Peyton Knowles is low. Infield not coming in, so seems like on a ground ball on the infield, they'd surrender Hankins' run, and understandably so in an 8-2 game. 2-0 now to the Bucs second baseman, and haven't seen Knowles in the outfield in a little while now. I think it's safe to say with Cusey leaving and Powell getting hurt and leaving as well, he'll be a second baseman more consistently. A big hack at that one.
Yeah, and he's a good fielder out there. Hasn't had a ton of crazy tough plays hit his way where we've been able to say that he's a crazy good second baseman, but he's done his job and he's a good bat in the lineup.
Puts this one in play to Livesey, and unfortunately Hankins going to have to stay at third base. The one place on the infield that wouldn't get Hankins home, and with the Bucs' luck today, that's where the ball goes.
Yeah, of course, just unlucky, and Knowles hitting it back out the middle, not super hard hit, but a good approach from him. And it's just unfortunate going back to Christian Powell having to leave. As such a great guy to be around, quiet, but someone that you wouldn't expect to give you a laugh, and he's definitely a funny guy, and we'll miss talking to him and wish that he could have stayed around longer, but wishing him all the best in dealing with his injury.
Yeah, just blew out his shoulder, and he was such a dynamite fielder for these
Yeah,
Bucks at second base. Was penciled in almost every game.
right. Hankins gonna have to pick up the slack as well as Knowles.
Maltby hits one up the middle. Second baseman Zuleika backhands it and makes the toss. So Hankins the leadoff double. He's stranded at third base. It's a 0 for the Bucks in the bottom of the fourth. 8-2 after 4. Welcome back. New man on the mound for the Bucks is Brett Castillo. For the first time in league play, he sheds the turtleneck, and now we'll get to see what he can do on the mound.
Yeah, can't wait to see Castillo on the mound. Going back to when we saw them practice, the first practice all the way back in June, we saw him pitching and getting some instruction from Monty, and he's a guy that has like 5 pitches, I believe, which is interesting for a a, a hitter by trade. So we'll see if he uses those 5 pitches.
Just like Jake Rafferty, he starts against Medeiros, and got to give it up for Rafferty. He pitched phenomenally in relief for these Bucks. His final line, 2 2/3 of an inning, just 1 run, which was unearned, 3 strikeouts, just 1 hit and 1 walk. So fantastic job from the high school graduate. And Castillo gets a pop up on the right side. Carlone in foul territory makes the play. We got to set the defense for the Bucks. Some changes. Zane Kelly, who was the DH and pitcher, now into center field. So with that, the Bucks lose the designated hitter for the game. Obviously, Brett Castillo coming from right field, so someone's got to take that spot. Now would be the man who was in center field, Andrew Lamb. So Lamb in right, Kelly in center, Castillo on the mound, and no designated hitter the rest away for the Bucks. And if Castillo can go long into the game, it shouldn't be a problem. Grounder to third. Hankins has it and makes the play for a lightning fast second out. But like I was saying, obviously don't want to lose the DH, but if Castillo continues to pitch, it won't be a problem because he can still hit.
Yeah, it's really not an issue. I mean, obviously he can still hit, and I actually want to let everyone know that it's not Brett Castillo's game. It's just the 5th inning, and also the reason I say that is because Tommy Eisenstadt has grabbed a ball in the bullpen and has started warming up with Brody Briggs, something that I thought we would not see this entire season. But he is out there, number 29. I thought I saw him coming out there. I just couldn't really believe my eyes.
Yeah, we have not seen Eisenstadt pitch, that is for certain, but in an 8-2 game, maybe the Bucks kind of throwing in the towel, but we'll see if they can pitch a scoreless top of the fifth and maybe get some runs if the approach would change. 2-0 now to Dagenhart after the ground out from Brady Groves.
I just love a 1-2-3 here. Quick inning for Castillo. Can come back out here and just do his thing.
Still a long way to go. This game is by no means over. Castillo unable to find the zone against Dagenhart. Count goes to 3-0. With 2 outs. It was a pop-up in foul territory to Carlone and a ground ball to Hankins on the hot corner, but 3-0 to Dagenhart makes the 1-2-3 inning for Castillo tough. Let's see if he can battle back. Pitch to Dagenhart is in the zone. 3-1 now. After Dagenhart, it'll be Zulaika. How about we see him lead off the 6th? 3-1 is low, so we will see Zulaika here in the 5th with Dagenhart reaching via the free pass. And now the second baseman, Louis Zulaika, comes to the plate. Hitless so far for the Chinooks. 0 for 3 with a walk, already his 5th time to the plate. Same with Dagenhart, who just took that walk, top of the order, getting to the plate for the 5th time. And honestly, getting to the plate that many times, you'd think that the Chinooks would have more than 8 runs. And definitely more than 6 hits. He swings at the first pitch, hits it high in the air in foul territory. And Carlone, another play. So there is a walk of Dagenhart, but Castillo still retires the side, seeing just 4 batters, another 0 on the board for the Chinooks. Bucs looking to cut into this 6-run deficit. Welcome back. Bottom of the 5th inning. Brett Castillo keeping the Chinooks scoreless in the top of the 5th, and he'll lead things off at the plate in the bottom of the 5th. We've seen some wacky stuff with Kelly starting as a pitcher and a DH, and now Castillo coming into the game as a pitcher after starting in right field. So he'll hit for himself immediately after that foul out to Carlone at first, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off of Rickaball. Home plate umpire will buy him some time.
And for the Bucs here, might be an advantage that Livesey is still pitching, getting some more opportunities to hit off of him. The Bucs have looked pretty good. Just 2 runs, but 4 hits. They're seeing him pretty well. Not that he's not pitching well, but definitely an easy decision for the Chinooks, being up 6 runs just to keep him out there, eat up some innings.
Yeah, only 60 pitches and now 61 with the swinging strike from Castillo. It's just been such a long time that he's been pitching, but not a high number of pitches just because of how long this game has gone. Some long rests in the dugout, but a little bit more rhythm to this one over the last few innings. And now Castillo spoils this one foul. After Castillo, it's back to the top with Carlone and Burns. See if Castillo can give himself some help out on the mound. Watches this one.
Yeah, I would love to be the guy that starts a big inning for the Bucs, gets himself on after battling back from an 0-2 count, then goes back out there and just shoves.
Unfortunately, down on strikes this time. Rickabaugh will make the throw to first, and Castillo's the first out.
Guess that's my bad.
Happens. There's a lot not going our way today. Definitely not one person to blame, and don't think that person would be you regardless.
Appreciate that, Will. Means a lot.
So Carlone to the plate. He's put the ball in play on the ground twice, once successfully for a hit. That was his last time up. And Carlone scored on that 2 RBI double from Andrew Lamb. Has to duck out of the way of this one.
The Bucs have come down from behind 6 runs. They did that out in the peninsula. So a team can do it. Also, the Bucs have gone up 6 and have blown the lead 2. That was in the peninsula as well. Could not come up with the win in that game. Blew a lead against the Chinooks too. So we've seen both ends of the spectrum. Of course, we haven't seen a team get out to a 6-run lead to start the game.
Just got a chip away. Another ball on the ground from Carlone. Another chance for Zulaika, and with Carlone busting it down the line, Zulaika making the play just in time. Love to see the hustle from these Bucs, even with such a large deficit. Noticed it from Peyton Knowles a couple innings ago on what was a pretty routine grounder, just busting it down the line, because those are the type of energy plays that can spark a comeback, and just always good to keep those good habits.
Yeah, some mishap in the field and you're hustling out and you beat it out, that's going to get a huge howl from the dugout. And that's going to get everyone fired up and want to do their job even more.
Swing and a miss from Burns, 1-1 now. He's singled and struck out looking.
Not really an off game for Brody Briggs, as he's had to warm up a lot of pitchers out there in the bullpen.
Oh yeah, especially with Andrew Lamb playing the field. Briggs really the only other legitimate bullpen catcher option. 2-1 to the Bucs shortstop. Livesey's 71st pitch misses downstairs. 3-1. If Burns can get on, the aforementioned Andrew Lamb will come to the plate next. Three-1 is outside, so Burns takes his base. Like we've talked about, a big strikeout and walk guy for these Bucs, and he has both now tonight. And Andrew Lamb, who had the big 2 RBI double back in the third, the guy you want on with, you want up with a man on.
Yeah, and maybe this is the inning. The Bucs give the Chinooks a taste of their own medicine. A 2-out walk. Of course, it was the 2-out double that got things started by Jordan Jaffe back in the first inning. But a 2-out base runner in general.
Runner goes, pitches outside, and no throw for Rickabaugh as he couldn't corral it. Burns picking a perfect pitch to run on.
Sure did.
That changes things. A runner in scoring position now for Andrew Lamb. Likely a single would score the speedy Burns. For Burns, that's stolen base number 11 on the season. That leads the team by some margin. Kelly in second with 6. Lamb swings over the top of that one.
Yeah, Burns super speedy. And that was his 16th walk this season, so he finds himself on base all the time. And he's always trying to snag a bag.
Looking to force the issue towards the top of that Bucs lineup. Lamb trying to keep the line moving. Pitch from Livesey's in the dirt. Adam Enyart waits on deck for the Bucs. Enyart on deck, and Carlone hitting this inning just really makes me realize the Bucs could get creative with some of the pitching and fielding and hitting combinations like we've seen today, much more often, but usually a little bit more usual, and just giving the guy the day off in the field and at the plate. Another swing and a miss from Lamb. But today we've seen Coach Springman kind of get into his bag and get a little interesting with it. Makes it interesting to see for sure.
That's where you can really tell if you got a good skipper or not. When things go wrong, how do you adjust? How do you manage damage control and utilize the guys that you have available and put to work the guys that you don't have available? What are they doing in the dugout to help things? You know that not everyone's just sitting around there. Everyone's playing a part and helping each other out, whether that's cheering on your patron or it's going out there and just telling a pitcher what he might be doing wrong and how he could fix it. So everyone's pulling their weight. I think that Springman likes everyone to be doing something. Everyone was scurrying out of the way after that foul ball, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Adam Enyart got to be careful over there in the on-deck circle. Andrew Lamb really spoiling that one, and Deuce is still wild with that foul ball here in the bottom of the fifth. Bucks trying to cut into a 6-run lead from the Chinooks. Will Burns standing at second base, and the pesky Andrew Lamb at the plate. Livesey's pitch count getting up there a little bit. Next will be his 78th. And it's cut on and missed from Andrew Lamb. Strikeout number 4 for Livesey, and no runs for the Bucks in the bottom of the fifth. The lead remains 6 for the Chinooks. After the throw down from Malpe, we're ready for the 6th inning. Brett Castillo stays out there on the mound after pitching a scoreless 5th. He'll face the heart of the Chinooks order. First, the third place hitting Jordan Jaffe, who's doubled and tripled already, is only out coming on a line drive to left field.
Love to see his stats versus the Bucks. He really hits the Bucks well.
First pitch is low and outside, and I believe I misspoke when saying that Dagenhart and Zulaika had come to the plate for their 5th time, just the 4th time for these Chinooks. 1-0 from Castillo is low and inside, 2-0 to Jaffe. Just 9 pitches to get the 3 outs for Castillo last inning. Just 6 hits for these Chinooks. Only problem, a lot of them loud extra base hits. Home run, triple, couple of doubles, I believe. 2-0, Jaffe fouls that one back.
Another arm has started warming up in the bullpen. Can't get an idea of who that is, but it might be another position player.
And actually, it's 2 doubles and 2 triples in addition to the home run. So only 1 single for the Chinooks. 2-1, chance for Hankins at third base. Shows off the strong arm for the first out. Castillo doing a good job.
Yeah, he really is. Just need him to eat as many innings as possible. Bucks probably not going back to a normal everyday pitcher. Probably just go with position players, but still want to eat as many innings as possible. Put in a position player, you're always just pushing your luck.
So now Jaden Hill, who has one of the triples, and now he adds a second single for the Chinooks in this one. 7 hits now, and no 1-2-3 inning for Castillo, but maybe he can get the catcher RJ Rickabaugh to roll a slow one.
Yeah, would just love a little rollover. That'd be great.
We'll have a catcher running, a left-handed hitting catcher, so makes a bit of a shorter trip to first, but a catcher nonetheless. Hill at first. And pitch from Castillo is low. 8 balls and 7 strikes through his first 15 offerings.
Wondering if that's Peyton Knowles out there warming up. It looks like 25.
Looks like it could be him. Oh no, Knowles is at second base, so can't
Oh.
be him.
I have no idea what I'm looking at then. I was about to say, isn't Knowles in the field? And totally just slipped my mind. It did look like 25. Wouldn't be 24 in Adam Enyart. Could it be 26 in Max Ross? No, it doesn't look like Ross out there, especially with his thumb. I wouldn't expect.
Enyart's still in left field, and Knowles still at second base. 2-0 to the catcher R.J. Rickball. We'll try to figure out who that is. Good breaking ball that time from Castillo. It'll get me over for a 2-1 count now. Looks like 26, which is Max Ross.
It just doesn't really look like him out there, though. I thought I did see him jogging out to the bullpen, so I guess it is, but obviously we haven't seen his pitching motion, but it just really doesn't look like him.
Looks like 26 from here, and
Yeah.
I guess that thumb that's bothering him must be on the left hand. Runner goes, pitches out, or called strike, throw down to second. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Brett Castillo with the strikeout of Rickaball Maltby with a great throw down, and the Bucs get out of the sixth, facing the minimum. Time to get some more runs on the board, 8-2. Adam Enyart to the plate for the Bucs after a beautiful strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the top of the sixth. Hopefully some good mojo flows into the bottom half now as the middle of the Bucs order will be batting 4, 5, and 6. Enyart, Hankins, and Kelly, and really do think that was Max Ross in the bullpen.
Yeah, definitely looks like him out there. I'm just surprised, but they're using everyone they can find, so I guess I wouldn't be too surprised.
If I'm not mistaken, asked Max if he pitched in high school, and the answer was no. So hasn't pitched competitively in a long while. He said his high school team out in California was good enough that they had so many POs he never needed to pitch at St. Ferris High School.
Not the same with my school. I had to pitch a lot. That says something. The reason why I didn't think it was Max Ross at first, because I totally forgot he's a righty arm but a lefty bat, so I had to kind of look at our roster again and remind myself.
This one's bounced foul, and same thing with Eisenstadt, who we saw warming up out
Right?
there.
Yeah. That's why it took me a long time as well. Both thought that they were lefty with the throwing motion too, but righties.
Hopefully nothing would come back at Ross and hurt that thumb in the glove. A grounder to third, Broughton over to his left and makes a nice play.
Joffy's got to be careful there. He comes off the bag pretty close after that ball gets into his glove. Obviously, wasn't too close there, but I thought for a second he might have come off early.
So now Josh Hankins, who has one of the 4 hits for the Bucs. He had a double his last time up to the plate. Still Livesey out there. That pitch is 84th.
And for the Chinooks, just keep rolling with them. Still got that 6-run lead. The Bucs haven't really figured him out yet. Just the 2 runs to show for it.
Now 2-0, and we've talked about the Bucs having the off day tomorrow. The Chinooks do as well. Just one off day for the Chinooks before they get back in play on Thursday. But even with the off day, it looks like they're just trying to ride Livesey and keep the rest of the pen fresh.
Yeah, almost 2 off days to work with if they don't have to use a lot of bullpen arms.
Pitch called a strike on the inside corner. Not sure that Hankins is a fan, but maybe didn't do himself any favors by looking back at the umpire after the pitch hit the mid of Rickleball. 3-1, another chance at third for Broughton. Jaffe stays on the bag long enough, and there's the second out.
I think I just saw Eisenstadt try to do a little side armor motion. Wondering if that might be the key to his success if he has to come on.
Maybe Rylan Hyder can give him some tips.
Yeah, a little 3/4 motion there.
We'll see what happens in the top of the 7th, but first Zane Kelly at the plate, who takes a ball. Kelly looking for his first base knock, a fly out and a ground out so far. Foul tipped, and I think that caught Rickleball good. Tells his dugout that he's all right. And for Kelly, really looked good against those first 2 batters in the first inning, and then between he and Dew, nobody could get that third out.
Yeah, just really a shame. He did look so good those first 2 batters, and the double might have just messed up his confidence a little, just could never regain it.
See if he can spark a 2-out rally of his own at the plate. Ball and a strike, and he hits this one on a line. Short hop, great play by Zulaika. Not an easy one at all, and 3 ground balls take care of the Bucs in the home half of the 6th. Still 8-2 as we head to the final 3 frames. Top of the 7th inning, we'll still be left wondering about those arms in the bullpen because Brett Castillo is staying out on the mound, but a new voice for the play-by-play. Here's Vic again.
Well, I exited and the Bucs had 2 runs, so maybe some better luck. I thought you would have done that, but Bucs
Kept the Chinooks scoreless.
Yeah, well, yeah, you did your job. Now Castillo back out there, and this is rocketed into left field. Adam Inyart right in line with it and grabs it for out number 1.
Yeah, hardly had to move with that one. And in an 8-2 game, a couple games ago, we teased what's your between doubleheader snack, and I feel like we should get back to that. The fans probably dying to know.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say if it's a split doubleheader and I've got time and I can kind of run out and get myself something. Probably Subway. I feel like I always had that during travel ball. But in between games when there is no split doubleheader, I'd probably go to the concession stand and get myself some chicken fingers and a slushie. make my mouth multicolored before I go back out there for the second game. It's always intimidating if you're on the mound. You've got those like purple or red colored lips, and they think you're kind of crazy looking. 1-0 count to Hayes. Takes the ball upstairs.
What's the order at Subway?
Order at Subway. I'm kind of a weird guy. I'm not a huge fan of lettuce in terms of like just having it on my sandwiches. I feel like it just adds no context. So I just turkey, provolone, tomatoes, mustard, mayo. Just keep it simple, really. That's it. I don't really mess around with the lettuce too much. I always feel like at sandwich shops they just load it on there, and I'm just eating lettuce with a little bit of turkey and provolone. So that's kind of my go-to. But now going to Jersey Mike's, they got all these nice Phillies and the Southwest Phillies. So I've had a couple of those, and they're nice. 3-0. Catches a corner. He's back in the count. And now in the bullpen, it looks like there's a parade of guys just having a chance to throw out there, and maybe they're just going to pick whoever is feeling the best. Got Cade Lacey now throwing out there in the pen as well. 3-1, catches another corner. Castillo right back in the count.
Yeah, it's a party in there.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 guys. Maybe just taking turns seeing, hey, who can do this best? Obviously would love to see Castillo just continue, but got to have an option if he can't.
3-2 is grounded foul. Dunham over there. The first base coach for the Bucs is also the bullpen coach. So he runs back and forth between first base and the bullpen.
Also has to take charge of mound visits with
right.
Monty not at 100%.
Yeah, tough to see Monty not feeling so well. I know he had to talk to the trainer and feel bad. Can't do a big part of his job to come out there and talk to pitchers. 3-2. Misses outside, so a 1-out walk to Jacob Hayes will bring up Orion Medeiros.
And Medeiros has been quiet since the home run. A strikeout and a flyout in foul territory. None of these Bucs pitchers have been too scared of him after that big blast.
So Medeiros with a runner aboard at first and 1 down. Saw Eisenstadt. Saw Max Ross and Cade Lacey out there. Who's next? Just curious to see who will come on after Castillo as that one misses upstairs.
Just hope it doesn't get to you.
I think a lot more people hope it won't get to me. Except for me. I'm ready to go. Just give me some pants and a jersey. I didn't bring my glove, though, but I don't need one to pitch. 1-0, popped up foul out of play. Of course, I say that, and the first pitch is probably a line drive right back to me, and I don't have my main glove.
You'll just field it with the bare hand.
Yeah.
Or take your hat off quickly.
I'll just block it up with my body and just pick it right up.
Some Happy Gilmore activities.
Yeah. I think I've heard some coaches actually do that. Just like set up a pitching machine and let the guys get hit and
for their
see how they take it. Yeah, I think Max Ross was telling us that he had a coach that did that. The one went downstairs.
Doesn't sound like a fun time.
No, not at all. And it's like, you know you're going to get hit, and the main part is just trying to put the right body part out in front to get hit. But of course, you're going to get nicked by your coach if you lean into it and try to get hit on a certain part. 2-1 count, the pitch, popped up foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The way he explained it, I don't think they're really working on hitting specific body parts or turning your back or anything like that. I think it's, you better not move an inch.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't get any coaches in trouble.
Yeah, I know. Have to do some digging to probably find out who that was. I'm all for it, actually. I think it's a good way of just teaching guys to stay in the box. 2-2. Just misses inside. Castillo wanted it. It's not going to get the call.
I don't know. I don't see it accomplishing all that much because you can practice it all you want, but is that really going to change when you're seeing a pitch 15 miles an hour faster in real play when you don't know that it's going to come hit you? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more so not necessarily focused on getting hit, just focusing on staying in the box on pitches that won't hit you. As Medeiros rockets this one out to center field. Longer run for Zane Kelly, but he makes the grab. Hit a little bit further than we expected. I'm sure Zane Kelly too, but he's able to track it down for the second out.
Yeah, another hard hit ball by Medeiros. Not obviously as hard hit as his first one, but still got pretty good wood on that one.
So that'll bring up Brady Groves. 0 for 2 with the walk back in the first, struck out and is grounded out. First pitch he sees is a called strike on the outside corner. I feel like the guys in the bullpen are just saying, hey, I think I should go in. Or the other one's saying, no, I should go in. I think they're all just kind of trying to get their case for why they should be put into the game. And that one's fouled off of his leg, so be a foul ball.
Bucks don't get down by this much very often, so if you're not a pitcher, not going to have many opportunities to pitch in situations like this.
It looks like it's Andrew Rudd who's actually out there kind of coaching these guys up a little bit, helping them through it. Dunham, I believe, is in the dugout as we speak, but he also could be out there. He goes back and forth, especially when the Bucks are in the field. Of course, when the Bucks are in the field. He's at first base when the Bucks are hitting. 0-2 misses upstairs. Brody Briggs really not having an off day at all. He's probably on his knees just as much as Maltby. So at least Maltby and Briggs have those 2 days off, as well as Andrew Lamb out in the outfield. 1-2. Ground ball out to second. Peyton Knowles going to take the easy route. He flips to second base. For the third out, Brett Castillo, another good inning, just faces 4 Chinooks batters, takes care of the 3 besides that 1 out walk to Jacob Hayes. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Time to stretch here at Mulcahy Stadium. Bucks running out of outs. It's an 8-2 lead for the Chinooks when we come back. Peyton Knowles grabs a bat, heads to the dish. He leads things off for the Bucks here. It will be 7, 8, and 9 due up. Brett Castillo, that 9-hole batter still. We'll see if he comes back out for another inning. Like I said, just a parade of guys out there testing their luck on the pitcher's mound. Seeing if they can come into this game next to relieve Castillo. First pitch is a strike. Still on the hill is Livesey for the Chinooks, and he's been pitching great. Just the 2 runs back in the 3rd inning. All the Bucks have to show for those 4 hits. Peyton Knowles fouls this out of play. Bottom half of the 7th. Bucks just running out of outs. Slowly but surely. 0-2 misses. And Livesey with a grin on his face. Wanted that call from the home plate umpire. Not going to get it. One, 2 misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chinooks bullpen doesn't look too busy out there. 2-2, just gets a piece of it foul. Livesey, the lefty, still out on the hill for 7th inning. And just misses at that one. And probably asking the home plate umpire, you can't give me this spot, can't give me that spot. What spot are you going to give me?
He's approaching 100 pitches. He's probably tired of pitching, and he's trying to get out of this 7th inning. Home plate umpire not helping him out.
And that one is going to be a walk to Peyton Knowles to lead things off here in the 7th. And Nolan Livesey obviously a little frustrated out there, understandably so. Now at 98 pitches, so they're going to let him face Maltby, it looks like. So he will most likely get to 100 pitches unless Maltby rolls over one on here.
He's done a great job. 2 runs, just 4 hits.
First one is a strike on the outer half. Castillo on deck. Some cloud cover, but still bright blue skies here in Anchorage. I haven't seen the sun out in a while. Wonder if that's what's helping the Chinooks' luck. That one misses. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Maltby. He's had a couple good at-bats in his lone at-bats. Ground out back to the pitcher, but he went up the middle with it. Was going away, trying to go to right field as that one gets away from Rickaball. And moving up 90 feet is Peyton Knowles, so a runner in scoring position with nobody out. In a 2-1 hitters count for Dylan Maltby. See what the decision is from Sanagorski. Maltby not known to be a bunter, but of course any buck could probably do it. Catcher's speed though, but it would just be a sac bunt. He's swinging away. 2-1, a slow swing and foul tip at that ball.
And with a 6-run deficit and only 9 outs to play with, like the choice of having Maltby swing away.
100%, especially now with 2 strikes. Wind has died down. Was blowing out toward left field. Probably helped Medeiros' home run. Like I said, didn't really need much help with that. Knowles creeping his lead, 2-2. Misses the plate. And Livesey frustrated out there. That one looked like a good pitch, just not really sure where it missed. The home plate umpire zone has been questionable all night. Seen just inconsistency from it, really. But the Bucs get a break here. A payoff pitch to come. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Dylan Maltby a little bit out in front on that breaking ball. And it'll be Brett Castillo to bat with the runner at second. And just the 1 out.
Yeah, unfortunate strikeout for Maltby there. Things feeling gloom and doom, but at the end of the day, 6 runs is not insurmountable. And who better to get back into things than the man who's been on the mound the last few innings?
Brett Castillo walked and struck out. Third at bat against Livesey, and he takes the ball outside. Would love to get another runner on base for Cole Carlone in the top of the order to take care of business. One ball, no strikes. 8-2 lead here in Anchorage. The Chinooks, 6 runs in the first, 1 run in each of the second and third innings, and that's where we stand. Goose eggs from the 4th on for both teams.
Pace of play has really picked up too.
Took about an hour to just get through 1.5 innings. That ball misses downstairs.
And Livesey starting to lose command a little bit, and understandably so. Up to 107 pitches.
Yeah.
How much longer are they going to let him go?
I'm not sure. I'd love to have his pitch counts for his last games. They were starts. 3-0. Called strike. So back in the count to Castillo. Wisely had his bat on his shoulders, considering the amount of pitches Livesey's thrown. Knowles a healthy lead over there at second as he keeps bouncing around. 3-1 pitch. Nowhere near for ball 4. So 2 runners on, just the 1 out for Carlone. Just who the Bucs need right now.
Livesey threw 97 pitches last time out, so not super unfamiliar territory. 78 the time before that. Still pulling up the first 2 here. First start only went 3 innings, so can't imagine that being a ton. Looks like it wasn't tracked in his second start, but he's been in the 90s. This is his first time in the hundreds, though.
Surprised with 2 on and 1 out. They're letting him face the top of the order, but he might have just gotten himself out of it. Ground ball out to second. They go to second for 1, but that's all they'll get. Carlone speedy down the line. A little bit curious to why there was no throw down there. I guess Carlone got there quicker than I thought, but that one was rocketed to Zulaika at second. And now Tim Cole is going to make the change. The skipper comes out. It looks like that was the last batter that Livesey faced, but he did get the second out, and it's a big one. However, runners are at the corners, so a new pitcher to come on for the Chinooks, Tim Cole. giving him his praise. A great job for Livesey as he gets hugs and handshakes from everyone on the diamond. A great performance out of him. We won't wrap him up with those 2 runners left aboard, but we will tell you about the new pitcher. We'll take a break here. Still an 8-2 lead, but the Bucs threatening here in the 7th. Welcome back. Bottom half of the 7th inning. The Bucs threatening, but Livesey did a great job getting that second ground ball for the second out. And now on the hill for the Chinooks is Peyton Niemann. So far, Niemann, this would be his 10th appearance, 13 2/3 innings, 18 hits, 10 earned runs. So that's good for a 6.59 ERA. So tough sledding for Niemann so far in his 9 appearances.
Yeah, looks solid though against the Bucs just a couple of days ago. Worked the 8th inning, giving up 1 hit and a walk. Also had a strikeout, no runs scoring in that 8th inning. Some of the guys he faced: Will Burns flew out, Brody Briggs earned a walk, Peyton Knowles singled, Zane Kelly struck out. So he'll face Burns to start, just like he did last time he came on against these Bucs.
But for the Bucs, a little bit more success off of Niemann. Running out of outs here, just 7 left to work with. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Runners at the corners, Knowles at third, Carlone at first. Carlone hit into a fielder's choice, was able to leg it down the line really well. First pitch to Burns, called strike on the outer half.
For Burns, it's probably tempting to try and hit a long ball, cut this lead in half, but gotta have the approach of just moving the line along.
0-1's fouled back, quickly down 0-2. See if Carlone gets the green light to go to second. You know he's speedy, and with Knowles at third base could cause a lot of havoc. I would assume that Rickenbaugh would not throw down and would just concede the base. Niemann gonna step off and look Carlone back. No throw. Oh, 2 pitch, rocket into left field, down for a base hit. Will Burns with an RBI single. The lead cut down 5 runs now for the Chinooks. 8-3 is the score after that RBI single. Will Burns getting the job done, and like you said, will move in that line, and that is the biggest thing. Carlone moves first to second.
Yeah, did have a great approach, did Burns. Not trying to do too much with that one and just depositing it into left field and moving that line along.
So 8-3 lead for the Chinooks. Andrew Lamb, the batter, takes the ball outside.
Would love to just get a couple more runs and really put pressure on these Chinooks and their pitchers specifically.
Livesey, of course, in line for the win. The Bucs trying to disrupt that as Lamb takes the ball outside, 2-0 count.
And that run credited to Livesey.
Looks like Cade Lacey is alone out there in the bullpen warming up, so maybe he gets the call to come in. Ainley playing third base to start, but we've seen him more and more playing in right field. 2-0 is hit into center field, but it's going to hang up there for Jaden Hill. Glass is gleaming. He grabs that one for out number 3. So the Bucs just scratch it across one run here. The lead is now 8-3 for the Chinooks. We head to the 8th inning here in Anchorage. Welcome back, top of the 8th inning, and well, it was originally an 8-0 lead, and we thought that this might happen, but Tommy Eisenstadt, a position player for the Bucs, mainly first base and a designated hitter, has come on to pitch, and from his warm-up tosses, we can expect a nasty knuckleball.
Yeah, looking to give these batters a bit of a knuckle sandwich is Eisenstadt. Did not pitch at all for Gonzaga this season, hasn't pitched at all for the Bucs, so this is our first look at him in live play.
First pitch called strike to Brady Groves.
Dugout's loving it.
How about that start? Or excuse me, to Oliver Dagenhart, the leadoff batter. Top of the order due up for the Chinooks. That one is in the dirt. 1-1 strike. Eisenstadt, like we said, has not pitched to Gonzaga, has not pitched this summer. I'd like to say his last time pitching was probably back in high school. 1-1's lifted over the head of Will Burns, and it's down for a base hit to left field. So weak contact, but a really well-placed baseball out of Oliver Dagenhart over the head of Will Burns, and that's pretty impressive because with a position player on the mound, you really want to rocket that ball and you want to hit it as hard as you can, but Dagenhart at the approach of slowing his bat down, and he knows he's not getting a lot of velocity from Tommy Eisenstadt, and he's just able to deposit it over Will Burns' head. So good approach from him. We'll see if all of the Chinooks have that approach. Luis Zulaika next up to the dish, takes a called strike.
Yeah, for Eisenstadt, definitely not supplying a ton of the power these batters are going to have it themselves, but hopefully he can get some swings and misses and have a memorable day here at the park.
Runner goes, pitches upstairs. The throw by Maltby is up the first base part of second, and in there safely is Dagenhart with the speed on Eisenstadt's pitches and his high leg kick. That is tough for Maltby to deliver it in time, regardless of if it's a perfect ball there.
And as not a pitcher, probably not at the forefront of his mind, the little things that other more usual pitchers are always thinking about, probably not for Eisenstadt.
1-1, popped him up. Center field, but coming over Adam Inyart, the left fielder, will take this one. And a nice throw to Hankins on the fly keeps Degenhardt over there at second.
Great throw indeed. We've seen Enyart throwing off the mound and showing it off from the outfield as well.
And boy, it is just a gorgeous day here at Mulcahy Stadium. Sun and sky really cooperating with us. We haven't seen this sun for seems like almost a week. All these games have been super cloudy. But a beautiful day for baseball, and like I said earlier, a beautiful day for a Bucs comeback. But first, Tommy Eisenstadt's got to retire these Chinooks. Another called strike on the outer half. That's where he's been living and starting each and every batter. These first three batters at least have all been started with a strike on the outside part of the plate. Working out of the stretch with that runner aboard at second. The pitch in on the hands, and Jordan Joffe will take that for ball one. Joffe's had a really good day. That triple and double back in the first. The double plated, or he played it himself after the double. He was the first run to come across, first of 8. And drove in a run on that triple. 1-1. Ooh, I don't understand how that's not in the zone, Will. That looked exactly like the first pitch.
Yeah, the outside part of the zone to righties hasn't been the most consistent tonight, to be honest.
It seems 50-50. You throw it there, you might get the call, you might not. Eisenstadt just doesn't get it. 2-1. Too far outside. I want a little more on the outer half than the last one, so understandably called a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Your Eisenstadt, you'd love to get Joffe out, but he is a tough hitter. You would have a force out if you do walk him. But he hits this one deep into left field. Adam Enyart's going to look up and watch that one over the left field wall. Jordan Joffe hits a no-doubter. And besides a single, that is all that's left for hitting for the cycle. A double, triple, and now a 2-run shot, and the lead extends here. It's a 10-3 lead for the Chinooks.
Yeah, for Eisenstadt, pitching's all fun and such an exciting opportunity until get one hit over the wall probably does not feel too good and probably reminds him why he doesn't do this very often.
Yeah, that is 3 RBIs on the night for Jordan Joffe. And you know he's hoping for a big inning here. He gets a single hit for the cycle, but it looks like that's probably going to be his last at bat. Chinooks will have another chance in the 9th, though, borrowing a huge comeback in this bottom half of the inning. Jaden Hill switches around, bats from the left side. Fouls that one out of play.
Exactly what we saw from him a couple days ago. Started the game batting righty, and then with some righty relievers for the Bucs switching over to the other side.
1-1's in the dirt. Seven-run lead now. Was a 7-0 game back going into the 3rd. Jaden Hill gets under this one, hits it to center field. Zane Kelly is there and makes the grab, 2 down.
Yeah, good job by Eisenstadt to bounce back after the home run ball. Weak contact that time from Jaden Hill.
That'll bring up the catcher, R.J. Rickabaugh. 1 for 4 with a single back in the 1st. Struck out and grounded out twice, both to the first baseman, Carlone. That ball misses from Tommy Eisenstadt, starts him 1-0. Delivery, look out. Didn't have enough tar on that, and the bat goes flying.
Taps his chest to say, my bad. I mean, who else's bad would it have been?
I don't know, yeah. Certainly not the batting gloves. So he'll put some sticky stuff on the handle, and hopefully it keeps it in his hand for the next pitch. Now a 1-1 count. Eisenstadt just trying to get out of the 8th inning, only allowing that 2-run shot. This is a ground ball right to Carlone at first. He'll take it himself, and Tommy Eisenstadt, despite the 1-pitch mistake to Jordan Joffe, a big mistake, he does his job, and he takes care of the Chinooks here and gives the Bucs a chance going into the bottom half of the 8th inning. The score now 10-3, Chinooks lead. Bottom of the 8th inning, just 6 outs left for the Bucs. Adam Inyart is due up. Peyton Neiman still on the hill for the Chinooks. Lead extending to 7 runs after the 2-run shot from Jordan Jaffe that past inning.
With just the 2 runs, though, Bucks confirming that we'll play 9. Won't be run ruled here tonight.
1-0 from Neiman is cracked foul by Inyart.
Although if the Bucks score 17 runs in this inning, I guess we would end an inning early.
Yeah, definitely doable.
50-50, I'd say. They either do or they don't.
Yeah. Really no in between. 1-1 to Inyart. Just misses. 2 balls, 1 strike. Five pitchers used for the Bucs. Not used to seeing that. Inyart hits this to center field, right in line with Jaden Hill, who grabs it for out number 1. Like I was saying, 5 pitchers. I'm used to writing 4 or less, I feel like, for the Bucs when they go out to play. It seems like 4 is the magic number. Then anything under that is just a magnificent pitching performance. And 4 seems like a lot considering a normal game. But 4 really isn't, because the Bucs like to use a couple of bridge guys before they get to the 9th inning. Now Josh Hankins at the dish takes the ball outside.
And the thing is, it could be more than 5. If not for some great stuff from Castillo.
And Hankins rips this down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball. Hits off of the wall. Hankins will jog his way into second base. It's a 1-out double for Josh Hankins.
Second double of the game for Hankins. How about that? He's hitting the ball well tonight. A couple more Bucks need to add on to what he's seeing at the plate. But talking about how Castillo has done a good job for the Bucks eating innings, and would be remiss if I didn't mention Jake Rafferty.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot overstate the importance of what he did for the Bucks just going into these off days.
So Hankins at second with another double. And Zane Kelly takes that one up and away. With Eisenstadt replacing Castillo on the hill, it means he replaces his bat as well. I'd love to see Eisenstadt get a chance. They can make it that far in the order. That one's low and away from Peyton Neiman.
Wonder if that factored in at all to having these position players pitch. In all honesty, I just think they were out of real pitching options.
Eisenstadt is a lefty, so it would help against Neiman in terms of splits. Castillo the righty. Kelly fouls that out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Been one of our longer games and still fairly fast considering what had transpired back in the first inning and even second inning. That was a longer one too. 2-1. That's in the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're about 2.5 hours at this point, and we've had many games in under 2.5 hours. Actually, I feel like most of our games have been under 2.5 hours.
Definitely.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Zane Kelly. The pitch. It's in the dirt. Count runs full.
What's incredible about the Bucs, you see the 6 losses, which is impressive enough in its own right, but 3 of them by 3 runs and 3 of them by 1 run. So there's just not been a big loss for this team all season.
And they're fighting still. With that run back last inning, the 2 runs earlier on, team just doesn't go down quietly. And that one skips up to the plate. Zane Kelly has himself a 1-out walk. That'll bring up Peyton Knowles.
And yeah, with a couple days off coming, probably not going to get the team result that you wanted, but you want to head into that couple-day break with at least a good taste in your mouth from your last at-bat, your last play in the field, your last inning pitched, anything like that. And so we're seeing a good approach from these Bucs at the plate.
Rickaball will have a talk with Neiman on the hill. Just going over strategy. 1 down, 2 aboard.
And with what Coach Springman values, I know that, a bad attitude or not giving it your all in a game like this just wouldn't fly with him, nor should it.
Mm-hmm. Not at all. And now Tim Cole is going to come out. I think Rickaball just bought the reliever in the bullpen some time, and now Tim Cole is probably going to come out and make a change, I assume. See if he gives a look towards the bullpen. Well, he took the ball from Peyton Neiman. That's enough for us to see. So we'll talk about the new Chinooks pitcher and who's coming in. They'll have to face Peyton Knowles with 2 on and 1 out. The Bucs knocking at the door, but a long way to go here. Still down 7 runs. 10-3 is the score when we come back. Welcome back. Bottom half of the 8th. Pitching change for the Chinooks. Peyton Neiman out. Aiden Collins is in for his 6th appearance. 8 1/3. He does have 1 save in those 8 1/3 innings. 2 hits, 2 earned runs. 2.16 ERA. He's looked pretty good there in his 5 appearances, but how about his last time out?
Last time out was exactly a week ago, last Tuesday. Worked 2 2/3 to finish things up in an 11-7 win for the Chinooks. No hits, no runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. So definitely a guy who could not only finish this inning, but pitch the 9th for the Chinooks with those multi-inning abilities.
He'll have to face Peyton Knowles with runners at first and second and just the 1 out. Lefty arm, another lefty arm. Livesey, who started, was lefty, and then they gave it up to Peyton Neiman, the righty. So maybe just for matchup purposes. Knowles, obviously the lefty batter. Will have to face the lefty and Aiden Collins, but just by his motion, it's probably a really tough at bat for any lefty batter. First pitch, called strike.
Yeah, real snappy motion. That was the word you used, and I certainly agree. Super closed stance before he comes home as well.
Just wheels that arm around, not necessarily side armor, but has a lower slot that he gets that ball out of, and his slider just sweeps across the plate.
Has to generate that power from somewhere, just 5'9".
Gets ahead 0-1, the next pitch misses upstairs.
Evansville, Indiana native, 5'9", 210. Plays at Quincy University. Was the prom king at North Posey High School.
Where did you find that?
Don't worry about it.
Jeez. 1-1 misses again. You know I'm going to ask you after the game when we're off air. I'm going to ask you.
I mean, I think it was just on the college page.
Oh, it was the college page? That's interesting to go on the college page.
They got some good information
they
on the
really
guys.
do, but gosh, I was not expecting that. Prom king. Huh.
Yeah. Evansville, Indiana. If I remember, Evansville with a big basketball win a couple years ago.
Yeah, maybe.
Over Kentucky.
Oh, that, yeah. 2-1. Misses outside. Yeah, now that is jogging my memory.
I think Evansville went on to have under 10 wins that season. They were like the worst team in their
conference. Yeah, I think I got the
conference.
point actually when you said it earlier. Anyways, 3 balls, 1 strike to Knowles. It's okay, UGA basketball isn't that good anyway.
We'll watch out next year.
That's a called strike to Knowles. After Knowles, it would be Maltby. 3-2, poked out to left field, but it's going to hang up for Brady Groves. Knowles going the opposite way with it. Unable to get it into green grass and gave it a ride, but it's 2 outs now, and the threat for the Bucs slowly diminishing here.
Yeah, unfortunate that time. Put some good wood on it, just a little bit under it, and couldn't get down in the gap.
So Maltby will bat. We had his pads on just in case there was a double play. I think that's kind of throwing shade at Knowles, though, for thinking he couldn't bust it down the line. Of course, any double play can be turned with any base runner, depending on where it is. First pitch, Maltby sees is outside. On deck is Tommy Eisenstadt. Like we mentioned, he took over for Castillo on the hill, so he will take over at the plate as well. Maltby, righty bat, might have better luck seeing the pitch out of Aiden Collins' arm. Or out of his hand. Because you wouldn't throw out of your arm, right?
I would hope not. But if Eisenstadt can get up to the plate, that would be the 3rd Buck that we've seen hit and pitch.
Remarkable what these Bucs can do. For the Chinooks, they've had even more. It seems like almost all their infielders, and even some outfielders, can also pitch. 1-1 right back to him. An unfortunate at-bat for Maltby. Second time he's grounded out to the pitcher. Love the up-the-middle approach, just unfortunately can't get it done. So Aiden Collins comes in, does his job, gets the last 2 Bucs for outs 2 and 3. We head to the top of the 9th inning. The Bucs trying to hold the deficit at just 7 runs. 10-3 lead for the Chinooks when we come back. Top 9, last chance for the Chinooks to add some more insurance runs. Already up 7 runs, though. Hopefully they just give Tommy Eisenstadt a break. Just keep the bat on their shoulders.
Yeah, and then he'll get a big rally started as the leadoff man in the bottom of the 9th.
Perfect. Just what I was aiming for. So Eisenstadt still out there. He'll face David Broughton, who takes a big cut and a miss at that in the Bucs dugout. Liking what they see.
Hey, that's the swing you're going to get with that knuckleball, huh?
Sure is. Throws it a good bit, at least in warm-ups. That one, another one there.
That was definitely a knuckleball.
That was gross. Obviously not a strike, but that had a lot of movement on it. So 1-1 count to Broughton.
Wonder how much experience Maltby has with catching knucklers.
Next one from Eisenstadt is fouled away. Clouds rolling in here. Perfect timing, considering we're in the 9th inning. But not perfect if the Bucs can string together 7 runs and prolong this game. One-two from Eisenstadt. is fouled back. Weak contact from David Broughton.
Just so hard to get the knuckleball on that perfect spot of the barrel. Impressive. Not sure if it was the knuckleball that Joffe hit out, but impressive anytime you can barrel one of these up.
Yeah, the slower velocity means you have to crank it even harder. 1-2, there's the knuckleball, but just misses inside.
Not only do you have to supply power, but all that random late movement, and you don't really know where you're trying to put your bat head.
2-2. Gets a piece of it, fouls it back. This would be the Chinooks' first win in 6 games now, in counting the non-league game against these Bucs. Bucs are 5-0, counting that non-league win. And this is hit to center field. Zane Kelly dives, and what a grab! A Superman-like play for Zane Kelly in center. Takes away a base hit from David Broughton. What a grab.
Per usual, the hat comes off for Kelly, and I love it. He doesn't care it's a 7-run game. He's going to give it his all, and it sure paid off that time.
Maybe thinking, well, it's 7 runs. If this ball gets behind me, maybe it's not the end of the world. Probably holds up if it's a closer game, but now he knows that he can make that grab. He's made a couple good grabs this season, but that play, like a Max Ross type play, we saw him try to do that yesterday, came up just a little short, actually had it in the mid and just popped out. So Jacob Hayes bats, the 0-1 to him is fouled back. Tommy Eisenstadt ahead 0-2.
Sounds weird to hear. Tommy Eisenstadt ahead 0-2.
Yeah. Usually be saying Tommy Eisenstadt behind 0-2 in the count as a batter. 0-2, cold strike 3. Jacob Hayes, have a seat. Tommy Eisenstadt strikes him out. First strikeout for him. Gets him looking, but hey, we'll take you either way.
I'm sure Eisenstadt loves that. Definitely didn't know that coming up to Alaska, he'd be looking for a strikeout. He'd be trying to avoid him, but gets one on the good side this time.
Just the first strikeout since the 6th inning for the Chinooks. Batter is Orion Medeiros, takes the ball outside.
Medeiros been quiet since the homer. 0 for 3 since, but that 3-run shot having a big impact in this one.
1-0, slow swing and a miss, and a good pitch by Eisenstadt. He has a grin out there on the mound, probably thinking he's getting away with too much. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch hit fair down the left field line over the head of Josh Hankins. That skips up onto the wall. Adam Inyart fires this one in all the way to second, 1 hopper, but Medeiros is already in there with a stand-up double with 2 down.
A good bookend to this game for Medeiros after the home run in the first and now a double in the 9th. A couple of extra base hits, a ton of extra base hits for these Chinooks. That's now 7, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. And with just 10 hits, it's crazy how many of these hits have been Loudon for more than just a base hit.
Similar to what we've been seeing from the Bucs, actually. Quite a few games where they've had less hits than runs. As of late, not so much. Called strike on a Brady Groves. Eisenstadt would love to just get him out and not have to face the top of the order. Did do a good job of it besides the Joffe home run back last inning. The 0-1 skips up there. And for the Bucs pitchers before Eisenstadt, they're probably thinking, why couldn't I have had this much luck besides that home run, of course. Eisenstadt just throwing strikes, and most of these Chinooks hitters can't hit it. And wow, Brady Groves, an ugly swing as that one jammed him, and that knuckleball, it looks disgusting.
Bucs dugout letting him have it.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see if Tommy can get another strikeout. The pitch skips up there. Dylan Maltby, a great stop. Like I was saying, the Zane Kelly, everyone that pitched towards the first part where the Chinooks were just going off, they were throwing strikes. It's just the Chinooks came to hit tonight. Not too many walks. Just the hard hit balls from these Chinooks. That one's outside. The count runs full.
And after due, everyone really doing a solid job.
Yeah. But got to give it to the Chinooks. They've had some long at bats and they've seen a lot of pitches, been able to pick out the right ones to hit. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This one is hit well into right field, but Andrew Lamb is there and makes the grab for out number 3. So besides that 2-out double, Tommy Eisenstadt gets a line out, a strikeout, and a fly out. How about that? So last chance for the Bucs. Got to plate 7 to keep this one alive. We head to the bottom of the ninth, still a 10-3 lead for the Chinooks. Bottom 9, last crack for the Bucs, and the way things have been going, I haven't had to say bottom of the ninth. It's usually the Bucs being ahead and having to close it out in the top of the ninth or top of the 7th, considering those double headers we had.
Yeah, no, the Bucs have been fantastic all season, especially here at home.
And Tommy Eisenstadt leads things off. It's his first at bat after coming in to replace Castillo on the hill. Besides that 2-run shot, Eisenstadt did a really good job at doing what he's supposed to do, and Collins plunks Tommy Eisenstadt. And as a lefty on the hill, you already have the advantage, especially with his arm slot. Plunking Tommy Eisenstadt is definitely something you didn't want to do, and it's something that it's hard to imagine because his balls are all bearing towards the right-handed batter's box. He really just let that one go a little too early to Tommy Eisenstadt, so a couple pitches already hit by pitch. That'll bring up Carlone, who grounds this out to short. A nice play by Degenhardt gets the runner and Tommy Eisenstadt out. That was really the only play he had going deep into the hole. Didn't really have a play at first.
Especially with Carlone running a nice job in a heads-up play. I was waiting for that throw over to first to be late, but heads up from Degenhardt going to second.
So he gets the lead runner out. Fielder's choice for Carlone. And that one's outside to Will Burns. Back in the 7th, Carlone grounded into a fielder's choice. That was second base to short. This time the other way around. That one catches a corner. Bucs need 7 runs to keep this game alive. This next one low and in.
It's unfortunate for the pitchers is these hitters get to pitch in these blowouts, but the pitchers never get to hit. And I'm sure they'd love to.
Oh, yes.
I believe someone in our pet peeve video said their pet peeve was pitchers thinking they could hit. I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't know if it made the video or not. I believe Ryland said it, and then I said, well, don't you think you could hit? I feel like you've told me you think you can hit. He goes, yeah. I was like, how can it be your pet peeve if you think it too?
Seems a little hypocritical.
I think that's why I didn't end up putting it in.
2-1, big swing and a miss. Well, nobody should listen to him anyways because he called me out at the end of that, and I didn't really appreciate it because I don't think it's very true.
Well, the thing is, you joke about playing all the time, and I think he knows you're joking.
Yeah, I hope so. But I mean, never mind. 2-2. It's outside to Will Burns. If you put me out to second base right now, I'm obviously the biggest liability.
E4.
It's not how it works. I'm definitely the biggest liability out there, but
Smallest liability.
All right. So now we got the short jokes coming. Okay. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Will Burns. A ground ball out to short. This could do it. Degenhardt to second for 1 on to first, and they won't get the throw in time. So they get the lead runner in Carlone. Another fielder's choice. This time it's for Will Burns.
Yeah, good job by Burns to sprint down the line and keep this game alive. Just good to keep those good habits going.
So he swaps places with Carlone. The Bucs down to their final out on a 3-game win streak. Started against the Chinooks 2 days ago, and then the doubleheader sweep versus the Miners yesterday. There goes Burns. The pitch is a called strike. The throw down there is not in time, so Burns snags another bag. The pitch was a called strike on the outer half to Lamb. The way Rickaball caught it made me think it was going to be a ball, but guess not.
It's tough with these late calls from the home plate umpire as well.
So a runner in scoring position, but 2 are down. Still a 7-run deficit. This one almost hits Lamb.
He didn't move.
Not at all. That's that grit he's got. No batting gloves. I just feel like it's getting less and less popular going into the bigger leagues. 1-1. That's outside.
Who's your favorite no batting glove hitter of all time?
Brooks Conrad.
I was going to go with Evan Gaddis.
I like Brooks Conrad because just the clutch, and he had that one crazy home run where you didn't even think it was out. But I always just, because he was really the first guy that I kind of saw like growing up as a kid who didn't wear batting gloves. El Oso Blanco, aka Evan Gaddis, was probably the second most notable guy
Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah, but I'm talking, hometown Braves. But yeah, it was first Brooks Conrad, not a well-known name. I always loved cheering for the underdogs, so. 3 balls, 1 strike. Lamb fouls that back. Bucks down to their final out. Or final strike, excuse me. And final out.
Scoreboard operator thinks there's already 3 outs.
I should have said Evan Gaddis because I actually have a bat from him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't say that, but I guess first thing that popped in my mind was Brooks Conrad. I don't know why. 3-1, and that plunks him. And Collins has been working in and into Lamb, and you could kind of feel that he was just eventually going to plunk him the way he was pitching to him. That last one, or a couple ones ago, missed just barely, and that one that hit Eisenstadt looked eerily similar to that last one that just plunked Andrew Lamb. So another hit by pitch.
And Lamb had shown that he wasn't going to move.
Not at all. Will Burns stays over there at second. Adam Inyart now takes the ball up and away.
They always say 27th out, the most difficult one to get.
Yep. Hopefully that's the case for the Bucs, or for the Chinooks, for the Bucs' sake. 1-0, that catches a corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck, Josh Hankins. Love to see him bat with bases loaded, or at least 2 or maybe just 1 runner on base. 1-1, he reaches for that one. Wish he could have it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, down to their final strike. Had 2 strikes on Lamb, plunks him in the back. See what he gives Inyart here. Collins, the lefty. The 1-2. Ground ball, foul.
Good job to stay alive from Enyart.
Now approaching 3 hours. One of our longest ball games here this summer.
I think we've only had 1 so far go over that 3-hour mark.
Yeah, it seems like we've been seeing the same soccer game going on the whole time. I think it's actually been 2 different games, which is crazy to think. Do they play 90 full minutes for that age, you think?
Probably 75 or 80 if I had to guess.
That one miss. So deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hopefully some deuces luck for Adam Inyart and the Bucs. Aiden Collins trying to give the Chinooks the first win against the Bucs this summer. 2-2, ground ball the other way. That one's through. Into right field. Will Burns going to get the green light. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off. They key it back in his second. Andrew Lamb is safe, and Enyart extends this game. An RBI single brings in Will Burns.
And much deserved for Enyart because of the way he's pitched the last couple of days. He's been a huge arm for these Bucs when they've been shorthanded. The Bucs have called on him pretty often over the last week, and good to see him rewarded at the plate, which is where he's usually doing his work.
Good job by Lamb, not trying to be too greedy. Recognized that that ball was hit into right field and not hit super hard, so there was no play at home. And if he tried to go to third base, Joffe could have cut it and threw a strike there into the game. But Lamb wisely holds up at second base as Josh Hankins takes that one outside. With 2 outs at the Oilers game, of course, the Bucs were only down 3 runs. They stormed back. A 2-run shot by Lacey brought it within 1, and if that throw is offline and from left field, the Bucs would have tied that game out in the peninsula. Yep. So we've seen crazier things happen in baseball. I know you are just as big of a baseball junkie as I have, and we've certainly seen crazier things.
Definitely.
But a lot to ask for now, down 6 runs. 1-0 misses.
Key is to just be a tough out, and that's what Enyart was, fouling off a pitch. And Hankins has had a good day at the plate. Double dose of doubles.
Heading to count 2-0. Pitch from Collins. Finds the zone for strike 1. On deck, Zane Kelly. Wouldn't be fitting if he had a big hit here if he could get up. Started this game and just struggled. Got those 2 outs and just couldn't find the third one, unfortunately. 2-1. That almost hit him.
And I think he's a bit upset at himself for getting out of the way, but I feel like half of it's not even a decision. Your body naturally gets out of the way of things that are coming for it.
I mean, I never did because I was really tough and I had a lot of grit. But other guys, I mean, it's scary up there, you know? No, I mean, it's a natural instinct. 3-1. Called strike. Hankins trying to sell it, but he doesn't get the job done. So Sanagorski gives the motion. Runners will be on the move. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Lamb at second, Enyart at first, both getting head starts. See if Hankins can find another gap. 3-2. And that one's foul tipped in the mid for out number 3. So Collins gets the job done. Unfortunately, the Bucs come up short. Final score is 10-4, Will, and just a tough performance from the get-go, being down 8-0, 6-0 after just the first inning. And of course, the pitching just wasn't the best from what we saw, but the resiliency from the pitchers coming after Zane Kelly and Elijah Dew. We saw Rafferty, Castillo, and Eisenstadt, and the Bucs scoring 4 runs. Obviously, we've seen a lot more offensive production in the past, but what did you think of tonight's game?
I was just happy with the way the Bucs fought. They didn't go down easy. We saw it all the way up until the 9th. It was pretty obvious after the top of the first that it was going to be an uphill climb, and it was a climb in the end that they weren't able to make. But I just really want to give props to Jake Rafferty. He came in to the team just a couple of days ago. This was the first game that we knew he could even possibly pitch for, and his name was called upon early, ate a couple of innings. And then about Brett Castillo, we haven't seen him as a pitcher a ton, and he came out of right field and pitched, and we saw Eisenstadt. So just these Bucs all picking up some slack, and these off days could not come at a better time.
You're exactly right, Will, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for you guys. 2 off days, tomorrow and Thursday. And giving you the final line score once again. 10 runs on 10 hits, no errors for the Chinooks. 4 runs on 7 hits, just the 1 error from the Bucs. So if anything went really well, still really good fielding by this Bucs team. Just the 1 error. Bats are still there. So 10-4 win for the Chinooks. We'll be back with you. The next game for the Bucs after the 2 games of days off is the Glacier Pilots at 6:10
Mayor's Cup.
So a big 3 games for the Bucs against the Pilots, 3 in a row against the Pilots. So I'll go ahead and refresh you on that line score. Sorry to jump ahead so quickly. 10 runs on 10 hits, no errors for the Chinooks. 4 runs on 7 hits, 1 error for the Bucs. The Chinooks take this one 10-4, the final score for my partner Will Hopkins. I'm Vic Massey saying so long and good night from Mulcahy Stadium.